star-spangled banner yet wave. Oh, the land of the free in the home of the brave.
This is ESPN 1025 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios. Tonight, your Nashville Predators take on the New York Islanders at Bridgestone Arena. Coverage begins at 6 on your home for Nashville. WPRT FM Pegram, WBUC HD2 Laverne, 1025 and 1063 The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
It's game day in Nashville.
He scores!
Predators Game Day is presented by Social Furniture, located at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Shop local, shop social.
His shot stopped and the rebound stopped too.
Nashville's best sports talk, 1025 and 1063 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 1025 and 1063 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Willy D-Mase, 1025, 1063 The Game. We are streaming on the Game Nashville app. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason hanging out with you live at the Jack Daniels Barrel House at Bridgestone Arena today. Predators and Islanders tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Titans and Packers at Lambeau in Green Bay. We will cover both today as we go along. D-Mase, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. We're here in Barrel House, man. Missed the place. I like Barrel House. It's a little bit chilly, but I like it. Predators play tonight, so Titans play, Predators play. What more could we ask for, man?
I know, it's perfect.
Exactly.
Got the Balls this weekend, Vandy this weekend. So, I mean, the sports weekend starts on Thursday for sure. But the Titans tonight, D-Mase, they're going to be without some key components as we kind of thought that they might be.
Yes.
I want to start with your favorite position, the kicker. Randy Bullock going to be out tonight. Josh Lambeau going to handle the kicking duties for the Titans. They added him to the 53-man roster. And the way that I looked at that transaction yesterday is they actually signed him to the active roster. It wasn't a game day call-up. Mm-hmm. That tells me Randy Bullock could be out for some time.
Yeah, it could be. It's not one of those deals where, it's all essentially almost like a 10-day contract, so to speak. If you're not familiar with that, that's a basketball term. Yeah, they're in it for the long haul because even it might not be as bad, but you don't want to back, and then he end up having the same problems again. Mm-hmm. So you let him, you allow Bullock to rest for a month, and then hopefully you get him back for the playoffs. So I'm sure that's what they're thinking. But yeah, that list, it goes from one set of guys to another set of guys. And y'all know that my thing is with the NFL, I mean, listen, it's just a war. It's just a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Whoever stays healthiest the longest or whoever gets healthiest, at the right time, that's the teams that usually separate themselves from everyone else. I'm talking about the good teams. I'm talking about the teams that are well coached, and that has talent on a team. Typically, what separates them is injury. You see Buffalo, they seem to be sort of headed downhill. Why? Because they got injuries to their quarterback, is that the reason why he's making the decisions he's making? You don't know. Sure. But the quarterback has some ailment that he's dealing with. You look at other teams that are sort of not going down, but they're stalling for a minute because they're dealing with injuries. Then you see the other teams that continue to win. Philadelphia, even though they lost this past weekend, Monday night. But Philadelphia's healthy, Minnesota's healthy, teams like that, Kansas City's healthy, teams like that continue to ascend because why? Two things: they're good already, and their personnel is good. They're well coached, but the most important thing is they're healthy at this time of year, so they want to keep that going. But the Titans seem to be going in the wrong direction in regards to health. But the one thing they do have on their side is that they have a top 5 coach in the National Football League, and he gets these guys going no matter what.
So I want you. We're going to run through these real quick.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most concerned, 1 being the least.
Mm-hmm.
When I say this player is out, I want you to give me a number. Randy Bullock out.
Man, that's like a 8 to me.
Yeah,
That's an 8.
that's the guy that's been doing your kicking.
Yeah, that depends. That can mean a win or a loss, here and there. So that's an 8 for me.
Bud Dupree.
That's a 5 because he's been not that he's not a good player. I believe he's a good player and he's shown he's a good player, but he's been out so much. So it's like we played with him and we played without him. So this is not like a big shock.
Lonnie Johnson, defensive back.
Because of the depth,
Yeah.
I would say it's about a 6.
Okay.
Just because of the depth, and people are looking at it. Well, you said Bud was a 5, and this has nothing to do with their ability to play the game. It's the depth at the cornerback position or the secondary position, and then the depth that they do have across the defensive line.
I'll answer this one. Ben Jones, that's like a 12.
Oh, that's yes. Can we go a 15 or a 20?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Jones being out with a concussion concerns me.
Yeah, that's huge.
Just the
He's the caller.
The quarterback, but the quarterback and the center, like they are
they're
connected.
One. They're one.
And Ben Jones has just been that constant, and now not to have him. Jeffrey Simmons is questionable. Elijah Molden is questionable. Amani Hooker is out.
That's why the Johnson injury is key because Molden is questionable. Amani Hooker's out.
Yep.
You don't know how Fulton left the game last week. You don't know how he will.
Play.
Yeah, he didn't play. You don't know how he will be. Coming
He's
in
been
on
a full
Thursday
participant though, but a hamstring.
Exactly, hamstring. You never know. Bud had a hamstring and a hip, and what happens?
Right.
He leaves the game. So with these hamstrings, you just never know. He can play the whole game. He can play a quarter, and that's it. So that's why I said that Lonnie Johnson, that injury to him and him being out is critical to this team.
Yeah. Others to look at, like I said, Christian Fulton has been a full participant the last 2 days. David Long has been a full participant the last 2 days. Roger McCreary, full participant yesterday, which is good. Kevin Strong and Ryan Tannehill, full participant the last few days. I will bring this up about Ryan Tannehill, even though I kind of feel like guy plays and it's you go okay, he's good now. Well, I think we both know that he's not 100%. I looked at the weather for Green Bay. It's not going to get above like 27 degrees at all.
Cool. And that hamstring?
The ankle, the high ankle.
Well, you're talking about ankles, but I'm talking about Fulton with the hamstring too.
Right.
Yeah,
But Tannehill specifically, how does the cold affect that? Because I would think it would have a negative effect.
I mean, it just depends. I'm sure they will put some type of heating pad, like little strip on his ankle that keeps it warm. So from that standpoint, it shouldn't bother him at all. They'll make sure that ankle is always typically what they do with injuries like that. They take these sort of warm strips and they put them on a body part that say your hamstring or whatnot, and they put it on there and they tape it on there whatnot, and it always keeps the muscles warm in that particular area. So I'm pretty sure that's what they would do with his ankle. Put some type of warm strip on his ankle so that when he's sitting on the sideline, it doesn't, stiffen up on him. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about, him getting outside the pocket and somebody tackling him like they did last week or pushing the pocket back on him.
How important, this is I think an obvious question, but how important is it going to be for the Titans to take care of the football tonight? Last time they were at Lambeau, they turned the ball, Tannehill threw 2 interceptions, and that really hurt them. They were down 19-0 just like that. I think Mike Vrabel's probably been preaching that you got to take care of the football on the road in a tough place to play because you know how tough that environment is.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I think that's especially on such a short week. Both teams are tired, so it's who makes the least amount of mistakes. Which team doesn't beat themselves? And typically it's false starts, offsides, and I'm not even talking about the holding calls and stuff like that because that happens no matter whether you played yesterday or day before yesterday or 2 games in a row. You're going to have holding calls, but it's the false start because you're not paying attention to detail. The offsides because you're not paying attention to detail. The turnovers because you're tired and you're not going through your progressions or you're not holding on to the ball the way you should be. So that's going to be critical for both teams that they protect the football because the colder it gets, the harder that football becomes. And trying to hold on to it, it gets a little dicey every once in a while, especially when you take a hit and you don't see the defender coming.
Coming up next, how can the Titans run the ball with Derrick Henry tonight at Lambeau? We will discuss that as we're live at Jack Daniel's Barrel House today. Predators and Islanders tonight. We will get into that. We'll see what Willy has to say about morning skate when he joins the show a little bit later on. But it is a Preds game day, and it's presented by Social Furniture, Nashville's locally owned furniture store. A huge in-stock inventory, and now for a limited time during their Black Friday sale, take an extra 20% off at Social Furniture in West Nashville. We'll also take your calls and texts on the Titans, 615-737-1025. Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5-106.3 The Game. But first, Superbook Sports. If you want to wager on the game tonight, that's where you need to do it. Download the Superbook Sports app and make it because it's all happening right now in sports at Superbook. Football, basketball, hockey, and soon enough the World Cup. And there's no better place to wager on all of that than Superbook Sports. When you sign up, deposit, and wager in the same day, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $1,000. When the sports world is busy, it's time to get busy winning some money at Superbook Sports. Titans tonight, +3. It's even money right now. So that means if you bet $20 and they cover that 3, you win $20. It's as simple as that. That's where it's at on the Superbook Sports right now. So download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com to wager and win today. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Your home for the MTSU Blue Raiders is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Every touchdown.
Yes, touchdown.
Every 3.
Free ball, yes, sir.
It all lives here.
Middle Tennessee.
You can also hear the Blue Raiders in the Borough on 97.5, Middle Tennessee Athletics on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Did somebody say flatbreads? If you haven't already, you need to get to Twin Peaks and try out their new in-house made flatbreads. 4 options including the Hottie Jalapeno Popper, Hawaii 5-0, the Italian, and the OG Pepperoni. Ask your Twin Peaks girl for more details and availability.
Well, here it is, everybody. Big Thursday night football game. Titans-Packers from the frozen tundra Lambeau Field. NFL Week 11. You should start it off right with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Joe Richter here to let you know it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you have an account. You're going to get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. The same-game parlays are a perfect way to combine bets for a chance at a bigger payday. If I was looking at this game with a parlay, I'm going to go Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. I'm going to take the Titans and the points. I'm going to go under on Aaron Rodgers' passing yards against a very good Titans defense. You do whatever you want. Build your own, or you can choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, bet it Thursday night with no sweat same-game parlay. Sign up with promo code Joe102 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. See what you got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs. Minimum $1 bet required. Refund issue is not available for free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet@FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Well, I'm a orthopedic surgeon, board certified.
Meet Dr. John Herzog, who's certainly done his share of knee and hip replacements. But these days, he's encouraging his patients to look at regenerative medicine options, now available at QC Kinetics.
I'm kind of the anti-surgeon right now, and a lot of my buddies, if they hear me talking, they're going to give me a call.
Dr. Herzog says advances in regenerative medicine can give your achy joints lasting relief, using highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
We take the fluid out of you, we concentrate it, and put it in an area where they couldn't normally get to and facilitate healing.
Are you suffering from constant pain due to arthritis or injury? Maybe it's time to look at alternatives to drugs and surgery at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in these exciting treatments.
What could be more natural than using your own body to heal yourself?
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024.
The choice is yours, Wednesdays at 8:45. Brought to you by Jarrett Companies. Now hiring experienced sprinkler experts. Go to jarrettfire.com. JARRETT fire.com. Jarrett Companies, a company above and beyond industry standards. Join Middle Tennessee football one last time this season inside Floyd Stadium for Senior Day. The Blue Raiders will host the Florida Atlantic University Owls with kickoff set for 2:30 p.m. Come early and wear your blue because it's going to be a day full of family fun. Be sure to check out the Blue Raider Beer Garden and the Blue Raider Family Fun Zone inside the stadium too. Come out and help us honor our 2022 seniors. Secure your seat today at goblueraiders.com/tickets. Middle Tennessee, we are Blue Knighted.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason. Willie Donick will be along here in just a little bit. Titans and Packers tonight at Lambeau. Predators, Islanders here at Bridgestone Arena. It'll be cool to see the return of Lane Lambert, longtime Predators assistant coach and then assistant under Barry Trotz, both here, Washington, and the Islanders.
Just
and now
about everywhere.
Everywhere, come to think of it. And now gets his shot at being a head coach. So it'll be his first time here as a head coach in the National Hockey League. But the key to me tonight, Derek, is going to be Derek, not you, but Derek
I said,
Henry.
if I'm the key, boy, we got some problems, Chase.
You were the key for a long time.
Yes, but not now.
But Derek Henry, they got to run the ball with him tonight. He's 77 yards away from 1,000. I feel pretty confident that he's going to hit that tonight because I think he's going to be the key. He did not have a good game last week, and you got to credit Denver on that they shut him down. They have a good run defense, but Green Bay does not. With Henry, he's gone over 100 yards in 5 of his last 6 games. He last time against the Packers, 98 yards, 23 carries. That was in 2020. But this year's Green Bay defense is allowing 140.6 yards per game, which is 26 in the league, 4.8 yards per carry. That is prime for Derrick Henry on Prime Video. See what I did there? In prime time on Thursday Night Football. I think this could be a big night for 22.
Yeah, yesterday I proclaimed that Henry would have 2 bills, and I'm sticking to it.
You did.
I'm sticking to it. This Green Bay Packer team, they're not as solid across the defensive front as they have been in some years. You look at what they are able to do, from pass defense standpoint, and then you look at what they're able to do from a run defense standpoint. I think sometimes the numbers are misleading because if a team can't stop the run, what are teams going to do? They're going to continue to run the ball on you. And they're not going to look to have their game plan be so heavy pass. So I wonder how good is their pass defense? If you're giving up, almost, 200 yards rushing, why do I need to pass?
Right.
So that's going to be the key. I know we talk about, Derrick Henry and running the football, but you know they're going to stack the box because every team has stacked the box. Now, the Titans can go out and test that secondary because, you know, it seems like teams haven't because they were able to run the football. So why do I need to test the secondary when I'm able to run the football? Well, if they, you know, throw those extra men in the box, then the Titans may be forced to throw the ball a little bit more than what they want to. And then in the fourth quarter, you know, toward the middle of the third, late, you know, into the fourth quarter, that's when Derrick Henry starts to really get going. So to me, it's not the Titans' run offense against their run defense, because I think they're going to do well anyway. I think it's the Titans' pass offense, which has been inept against the Green Bay Packers' pass defense. So because, again, they're going to try to stop Derrick Henry. And maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the Titans, the only reason the Titans ran the ball so much against Houston, why? Because Ryan Tannehill wasn't the quarterback. I think in this go-around, they're going to run the football a lot, but I think they feel more comfortable at throwing it with Ryan underneath center now. So I think they will also test that secondary of Green Bay.
And you know what? I think on that, I just have this feeling that Traylon Burks is going to have a big game.
I hope he does. I really hope he does.
Superbook has him at the over-under at 33.5 yards, and I like the over there. Because
I definitely like the over.
I think that they're going to, you know, last week's first game back, but, you know, he's had a few weeks to practice now. You throw him back in, and like you have been saying, scheme him open. You know, work him in. Now, the one concern I have, and Scott on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com brings this up about the run game. How much will Ben Jones being out hurt the run game?
Yeah, and we spoke on that during the beginning of the show. You know, Chase asked the question, you know, Ben Jones or these guys being out, how would you rate it? Well, Ben Jones is like out of 1 out of 10, he's a 12 or 15 because he is an extension of the quarterback. He calls out the front. He makes sure everybody understands what's going on. I mean, the offensive line, and he points out things. And he's just been that rock. He's been that solid pro that no matter what, whether he's been injured or not, he's been out there and he's been solid. Now you don't have him. What are you going to do? Hopefully, you know, with the weather, you don't have any, you know, exchange problems from the center to the quarterback. That's first and foremost. I don't think you saw – I can't remember at all any trouble they had with Ben Jones with getting the ball to the quarterback. I can't remember. Maybe there was a fumble or a muff here and there. But
I don't think so.
Since Ben's been there, I mean, I don't think they've had any trouble. Well, now you're inserting another center. You might have some trouble. So we need to watch out for that, the quarterback-center exchange with a new center.
Yeah, it's certainly something that I'm worried about. But this offense, you know, I don't think they're going to be tested a ton by this Packers defense, but this offense has to get something going. And I think it's interesting that you bring up Tannehill and, you know, wanting to test him. I worry about the ankle. You know, with it being cold, is he going to have the mobility? I don't see him running around a lot, but, you know, just simply being able to plant and throw and take his, you know, 3-step drop or 5-step drop, you know, whatever it may be. How is that going to hold up? I think we will see as the game goes along. But I would like to see some semblance of a pass game with Traylon Burks involved. Can NWI – that's the other thing. Mm-hmm. When you have a big game like Nick Westbrook-Akine did, how hard is it to then turn around and replicate that the next week? Because the team that you're about to play has the tape. They saw what you did.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's never in his career – and I don't want this to sound like it's a negative.
Sure.
But he's never in his career where he's had a big game and then double back with another big game. Now, he's had some big catches, but for some reason he hasn't been able to, you know, repeat that performance. Why? because we don't think of him as a number 1 or a number 2. He's a 3 that is forced to be the number 2 and sometimes the number 1. That's not his space. So when I say that, that's why, you see him have, a game like he did last week. And then you don't hear about, him for another 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, he may make some catches here and there, but he's not going to do anything that will replicate what he did last week. But I think what needs to happen with him, he and Ryan Tannehill needs to find some type of a little bit more rapport. I'm not saying they don't have it, but this year they need to find it a little bit more, because in previous years he was the one guy, and we've had AJ and we've had Corey. I understand that, and AJ is a phenomenal player, but Nick Westbrook-Akine was the one guy that he can go to and that would make those clutch catches.
Right.
You look back at his career, the last couple of years, he's made clutch catches for Ryan Tannehill, and you just want him to repeat that if given the opportunity. So will he get the opportunity to do that tonight? I don't know. I can't say that he will, because of the passing offense, and they will rely heavy on Derrick Henry, but I hope he does. I hope he does get an opportunity to get a repeat performance of last week.
Coming up next, David Beauclair was on our morning show and said something that Derrick has a little bit of an issue with. We will discuss that coming up here on Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. But we're at Bridgestone Arena today, and just a couple blocks up on Church Street, at 508 Church Street to be precise, is Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. It is an awesome place to go and hang out, have a nice cigar, have a beverage. You can watch the Preds games. You can watch different sports and just relax, because it has such a relaxing atmosphere. They were voted the best old-fashioned in Nashville over 14 other bars and restaurants in the city. And Blend Bar has an exclusive relationship with Davidoff Cigars, the best cigars in the world, that allows access to rare cigars that only Blend can carry. Jeremy and his awesome staff create this great atmosphere. They'll take care of you. They have private and VIP areas, so all you have to do is contact Jeremy for your next VIP event or party. You can experience luxury at its finest with the best spirits and cigars in the industry with Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. Again, 508 Church Street in downtown Nashville. It's just blocks away from Bridgestone Arena, from the Ryman Auditorium, and just across the bridge from Nissan Stadium. Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. Go check it out. It's luxury redefined.
Want a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Preds game?
Yes!
Tune in to Robbie and Rexroad every weekday Preds game day at 8:45 for Preds Pick to Click. Guess a goal scorer and win.
I'll take Roman Yost.
Matt Duchesne. Pick to Click is brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Visit tjandersonhomes.com to see why they are referred so often. And by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
Preds Pick to Click.
We are 102.5 and 106.3. The Game.
Don't miss out on Black Friday deals at Electronic Express. Come into our convenient locations for great deals on all of your favorite brands like Samsung, Whirlpool, LG, Sony, Apple, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department: computers, appliances, 4K TVs, housewares, headphones, gaming, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 48 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Blood Assurance, this community's local blood centers, is hiring for several open positions in the Nashville area. Be a part of a company that helps save lives by providing the local hospitals with the much-needed life source of blood. They offer competitive pay, great benefits, paid time off, and retirement benefits. Blood Assurance has a family-friendly environment. Go to bloodassurance.org/careers. Again, that's bloodassurance.org/careers to apply.
Hey Nashville, TJ Anderson here. With real estate listings, you have to read between the lines. Like cozy means super small, great bones means money pit, and motivated sellers, well, that means the honeymoon is probably over for them. My team at TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty is ready to help both home buyers and sellers decode the market. Oh, and if the house needs a little TLC, you should probably pack your hazmat suit. Google TJ Anderson Homes, read our reviews, and see why we are referred for a reason. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, 615-432-2919.
When Genesis Diamonds has a sale, you know it's the real deal. And it's happening this weekend. Our final store-wide sale of the year with deep discounts up to 35% off. This is the big one. The one where the staff knows they can break all the rules. Plus, Genesis selection is nearly double, with designers here from LA and New York with their entire collections, all on sale. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also marked down. This is the last and best jewelry buying opportunity of the year. Save up to 35% and get zero interest financing. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. Only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Philip Forsberg. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it. Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're live at Bridgestone Arena today. Preds Islanders tonight, but Titans and Packers on the road at Lambeau Field. And a man that is there that's going to be covering the two-tone blue tonight and has been for a long time, Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com, is on the line with us. Jimmy, how are you?
Doing good, Chase. Hope everybody's doing great today.
Doing fantastic. Going to see if our Commodores can make it 2 in a row, but gotta focus on the game tonight as some key injuries for Mike Vrabel and company. And I want to start with Ben Jones. He's out. He's been in concussion protocol. Not going to go tonight. And Derek and I were just talking about, that's one that really concerns you because he and Ryan Tannehill are literally connected at the hip. How big of a loss is that going to be, not having Ben Jones on that O-line tonight?
Well, it is big because you're right. I mean, those two, are on the same page. They certainly, Ben directs that offensive line. He's kind of a tone setter out there on top of being a really good player. So, you lose a guy like that for this week, it's tough, and the Titans have got to adjust. They can go a couple of different ways. I can't tip my hand on what's happening because I get to watch practice, but you either I think your options are either plugging Corey Levin in and having him be your starting center, or you move Aaron Brewer to center and let Dylan Radin play guard because they've done that some too. So we'll see how things unfold, but definitely an adjustment, and guys have to be on the same page.
Something else that we've been discussing a lot, Traylon Burks missed some time with the injury. I kind of felt before he got hurt, he was starting to grasp this offense. You could tell that he was starting to really get the NFL, and then he gets sidelined. I'd like to see him used more. What are some ways in your mind, Jim, that they can incorporate Traylon Burks more in this offense?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'd like to see him more. I'd like to see Chig Okonkwo more. And I know Mike Vrabel talked about Chig some this week. I mean, I think those guys, some of your top playmakers who are just rookies, and Traylon still, I think, has got the fresh legs working for him after, being out for 4 or 5 weeks. He was rehabbing during that time off and was getting his conditioning right. But I just think he's got a little bit of a jump to him, and so I think you just give him a chance to make plays in one-on-one situations. He's a guy who can go up and get the football and can run with it. Mike Vrabel kidded early in the year about he needs to because Traylon catches the ball and he wants to hunt guys down. I mean, he can make guys miss. So I think getting him the ball in space is key, and I think getting some production from your receiving core is key to open things up for Derek tonight.
Yeah, talking to Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com. And, another thing, too, is Derek was talking about earlier is getting Nick Westbrook-Akine to have a repeat of performance. Had 2 really big catches last week. He's a guy that, I think with with Robert Woods and with Traylon Burks, you wanted to have that 3-headed monster at receiver, and it hasn't worked that way due to injury. But what's the key in your mind to getting NWI to continue the success that he had last week?
Well, I think confidence-wise, I mean, that definitely helped him. I mean, obviously they were coming off a game, where they got beat up pretty good after the Kansas City game for not having a catch, and obviously some guys dropped passes. Nick Westbrook-Akine, I don't want to call that a drop, but that's a ball that an NFL receiver needs to come down with. Same with Chris Conley. Chris Conley now has been released. I'm not saying it's all because of that drop, but the expectation is if you're getting the ball thrown your way, you got to come down with it. So he's capable of being a good player for this team game. Is that those guys that didn't get many opportunities, and when you're a receiver, and Derek knows this, I mean, you're going out for routes time and time again. You're not getting any looks. I know it can, puts even more pressure on you when the ball does come your way. So those guys just need to be more involved in the offense, and it needs to be, this offense needs to have a little more diversity to it.
Now, Jim, I'm going to stick with the offense for a minute, but I do have questions about the defense as well and the guys that are in and out. But why is it so hard for the Tennessee Titans to get their rookies, their offensive rookies involved? You look around the league, and the league has pushed for more points and a wide open situations for offenses, and it sort of put the defense at times at a disadvantage. But why is it that the Titans hadn't been able to take advantage of the way the NFL is shifting, especially with their young guys? Because you see across the league, these young guys come here. I mean, they come into the league, and you have a handful of them that explode and jump on the scene, but then you have another handful that gradually make their way through the league that first year, but they're making contributions, huge contributions to their team. And you just, for whatever reason, you don't see that with the Titans.
Yeah, and I know each case is different. I mean, I do think Traylon would have been more involved and would have steadily gotten better and been more productive if not for that injury suffered on October the 2nd. And I think, he was 4 games in. I think we were starting to see some things from him, and I think that would have continued. And then all of a sudden, you got to hit pause because he goes on injured reserve. Chig, only thing I can say is that they've got a lot of trust in Jeff Swaim and obviously Austin Hooper. You got to find for a reason, and that just kind of has limited Chig's snap counts and limited his opportunities. But I'm with people, including sounds like you, who would like to see those guys involved more because, look at what happens when you give Chigakonkwo the ball. I mean, he has made some big plays for this team, and I'd like to see him targeted more and given some more opportunities. And again, I think Traylon, once he gets back in the groove, I think he's going to be a big factor. And another guy, I mean, I really do think that if Kyle Phillips would have stayed healthy and not had to deal with the shoulder and then the hammy, then he would have been, he potentially could have been this team's leading receiver at this point. But, injuries happen, and now he's kind of rebooting himself. And but I think the plan coming in the season was probably for Traylon and Kyle Phillips to be 2 of your top guys. It just hadn't played out that way.
Absolutely. The defense, Lonnie Johnson being out, and Chase asked the question, how do you rate the guys, 1 through 10 on being out? And he said Bud Dupree, and I'll rate Bud Dupree. It's had nothing to do with his ability to play the game because I think he's a really good player. but I ranked him a 5 because my thing was, listen, he's been in and out of the lineup. They're used to it. They've adjusted, and they've moved on, so to speak. If you listen to Vrabel talk when he talks about Bud Dupree, it's like, okay, if he's here, he's here. If he's not, he's not. We're going to continue to play. But the one guy I think will be sorely missed, well, 2, is Amani Hooker and Lonnie Johnson. And that's only because of the depth. And I rated Alani Johnson a 6 because of the depth on that secondary. They can't afford to lose too many people.
Yeah, and they've had such a good job of guys stepping in and plugging and playing. And Lonnie's one of those guys, and Andrew Adams one of those guys. Terrence Mitchell's one of those guys, and that's going to continue tonight. I mean, I think the hope is that Elijah Bolden's going to be able to play him out. When I saw him go off last week, and I thought, oh no, this is the hip, this is the groin again. This is probably it for him. But talking to him in the locker room on Tuesday, it sounded to me like he was feeling okay, and he is still. And that he maybe is even gaining confidence that he could work through something like that. So, I mean, if he's back in the mix, yeah, Lonnie's you're going to miss him, but Andrew Adams obviously can step in and play opposite Kevin Byard. If Mold is back in the mix, then you got Terrence Mitchell and some extra packages. You got a little bit more depth there, but it is crazy to think about guys who have become valuable that you never would have thought of, and Lonnie was one of those guys, and now, again, without him, and you got to make do.
Now, what's the latest on Caleb Farley? I'm just worried about the young man, from a career standpoint. This would be the second, sort of back issues that he's had. And I said yesterday, this kid was put behind the 8 ball, and I vehemently said I don't think he's a corner in this league. I think they should have tried to move him to safety. But it is what it is. But he's been behind the 8 ball. Came in injured, being a first-round pick. You got all that pressure on you to play. And I don't think he ever really, truly got healthy. And look at him now. He's back on the injury report.
Yeah, and I hate it for him because he's a great kid. I mean, from the day he got here, he was dealing with a lot. He had the back, right out of, had a back throughout college. He had the knee he was dealing with. He lost his mother not too long ago, and he was so thankful that the Titans gave him a chance and believed in him. And then he just couldn't ever get right, and he hurt the knee, again, and in that game, over at Nissan Stadium, and was put on the shelf and was trying to work his way back from that, and now here he is with the back again. What his long-term status is, I saw TD's report this week that kind of gets a little bit more in depth on the particulars of the injury, and I just hope the best for him. I hate that he's having to deal with that again because he really is a nice kid. I mean, he works hard, and football means a lot to him, and he's always eager, to do more. But he was in a position where they just didn't have complete faith and trust in him. Because if they did, he'd be out there playing, and then when he did go out there, he gets hurt, and now he's kind of starting over again. So I don't know what's going to happen from here, but it's just been it's just hadn't worked out for him or for the team by what's happened.
Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com in Green Bay. We have a few people that we know that have come up there for the game, so make sure Jared behaves.
Slap him in the back of the head.
It's the only one I'm really worried about. But
he's gonna be one of those guys, I bet, with his shirt off.
I don't know
making a lot of noise.
I don't know if we want that. Jim, thanks for the time.
He'd be curled up in the fetal position somewhere
maybe
top of the stadium.
Thanks for the time as always, and enjoy the game tonight.
Okay, you guys have a good one. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you too, Jim.
Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com, joining us from Green Bay. Titans and Packers tonight on Thursday Night Football. I brought this up a few minutes ago. I do want to get to this. David Beauclair said something this morning on Robbie and Rex Road that Derek doesn't agree with. We'll discuss that coming up next. Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Want the latest on college football and Nashville sports?
He looks like 1,000 quarterbacks I've seen in a college game.
Join Outkick 360's Chad Withrow every Friday at 5 with Stillman and Company.
The coaching staff kept him and got rid of the other guys.
He'll bring opinions and charisma for a full half hour every week.
If he's so great in the locker room, then give him a coaching gig.
Chad Withrow is presented by Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. No code red weather ahead of us here. A very easy weather pattern, but a very cool one as well. High temperatures this afternoon taking us into the upper 30s and low 40s, and we'll stay in that territory until we get into the upcoming weekend.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture, Nashville's locally owned furniture store. They started their business with one customer and one sofa. The owners work in the store daily to ensure their customers get the best treatment possible. Social Furniture offers same-day delivery and installation. Good credit or bad credit, they finance interest-free. A huge in-stock inventory. And now for a limited time during their Black Friday sale, take an extra 20% off. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture. Why go anywhere else?
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
People of all ages can experience spine pain. What hurts the most is what it does to your life, making simple activities feel like an uphill battle. Houston Clinic Orthopedics and their team of specialists aim to get you back to your active and enjoyable life. Let Houston Clinic Orthopedics bring lasting relief if you're suffering from any of the following: spinal stenosis, herniated discs, sciatica, degenerative disc disease, and more. To experience world-class orthopedic care, visit tn.houston.com, where experience matters.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Robbie Stanley.
To avoid non-contact injuries and not repeat last year,
Joe Rexroad.
Just wait until next year's national TV schedule comes out.
Robbie and Rexroad. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
He's not Arthur Smith, right? And that's probably his biggest crime right now, because in the 20-some years I've been covering this team, Arthur Smith's the best offensive coordinator this team has had, and it's always hard to follow somebody who's had a lot of success, and certainly Arthur Smith had tremendous success in that role for 2 years.
That's David Beauclair earlier today with Robbie and Rex Rhodes saying Arthur Smith, the best offensive coordinator the Titans have ever had. Back here at Chase Willy D-Mase 102.5, 106.3 The Game. And look, we're talking about the game tonight.
Yes.
But he says that. You obviously played for two very talented offensive coordinators with this organization. One in particular that I know is near and dear to you, the late, great Mike Heimerdinger. You disagree with David Beauclair
of course I disagree with David Beauclair. And I think highly of David. He's been around here since we came here.
Yeah.
But there's nobody. And listen, Arthur did a great job at working with what he had. But what Mike Heimerdinger was able to do, his ability to get guys open, his ability to know his players and cater his offensive scheme to his players, allowing leeway within the offensive scheme for his players to operate. There was no better coordinator. I wasn't here with Norm. I remember running into Norm Chow when he first got hired, and I'm going to the airport. I think I was getting ready to go to Baltimore or New England for a visit, and I bumped into him. We got to talking. He was like, "Man, I took this darn job." We didn't say darn. He said, "I took this job, and they got rid of my best receiver." I'm like, "Hey, man, I have nothing to do with that." I would have, because I would have loved to play under Norm Chow because I saw what he did at SC. And they had a high-powered offense at USC. So I would have loved to play, with Norm Chow as my offensive coordinator. But Heimerdinger, we went from a running like a soul, just running team and hitting the tight ends to a more wide-open team. I mean, there's no and listen, Arthur Smith is close, but we went to I think 2 AFC championship games, or one, and a divisional round with Heimerdinger at the helm. We should have went a little bit further than that. The year after we went to the Super Bowl, we should have ended up going back to the Super Bowl, and Heimerdinger was the offensive coordinator then. So what we were able to do from an offensive standpoint, what he was able, how he was able to design the offense around the talent that he had was remarkable. And that was the best thing that had ever happened to the Tennessee Titans offense, is when they named Mike Heimerdinger offensive coordinator, because it sort of pushed us into not getting away from the running game, but becoming more of what the NFL was becoming, a passing league. And we had the talent to do it. We had the quarterback to do it. So to me, I just think Heimerdinger, and y'all know how much I speak highly of Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have let him go. But he got the head coaching call, and he had to take it.
Yeah.
I would have too. But he's second behind Mike Heimerdinger. And what he meant from an offensive standpoint to this organization. I don't know about Mike's second stint because I wasn't here. But I guarantee you his first stint was damn good.
Look, his second stint, 2008, he came back. That was Chris Johnson's rookie year. That's the year you guys beat them, but they were the number 1 seed. I mean, you had Kerry Collins that thrived in that. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that Mike Munchak made when he got the job was firing Mike Heimerdinger.
Yeah, that was – I mean, he understood how to work with whatever he had, and he put guys in positions to succeed, and he listened to guys. And he and Steve were – he and Steve had that offense down packed. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and he understood Steve and his strength and his weaknesses.
Yeah, and Les Steckel, I think, was a good offensive coordinator.
Yes,
too.
Les was great. I mean, but Les was the old school coach.
Right.
He was the old school offensive coordinator. We went to a Super Bowl with Les Steckel. Why? Because at the time the NFL, that's what they were, and Les Steckel, had a bruiser in the backfield in Eddie George, had a great offensive line, and he also worked with the talent that he had. and he tried to put guys in positions to succeed, and he did with his offense. But you know, he was sort of the old school offense, and Mike sort of ushered in the new school offense, and we were successful with both of them. We were successful with Mike Heimerdinger, and we were successful with Les Steckel.
So Jimmy Morris on Twitter asks, why do you think that Dinger never got a head coaching opportunity? That's one that's always kind of intrigued me too. Now
he was an interim. He was an interim head coach, I think, with the Jets when they fired someone. He was a head coach for a quick stint.
He could have been. He left here and went to the Jets and was the OC in 05, was only there for a year, then he went back to Denver. Because, remember, he had won a couple Super Bowls with Denver as, I think, the wide receivers coach.
Exactly. But I think it might have been with the Jets.
Nope, it was with the Denver Broncos.
It was with the Denver when he
was
interim.
when they fired Shanahan?
Yeah, he was the interim coach.
Is that what it was? I bet that's what it was, when they fired Mike Shanahan.
Exactly. So he got a little snippet, but, yeah, you just wonder. I guess some guys are just, you look back at,
No, it was McDaniels.
Was it McDaniel?
I think. Or no, that was after. Yeah, you're right. It would have been Shanahan.
It would have. But you look at offensive coordinators, and you think sometimes they will be they will be great head coaches. Heck, the coach we had here a few years ago that nobody liked. Who was the head coach? 8 years ago that nobody liked.
Here?
Yeah.
Ken Wisenhunt.
Yeah, Ken Wisenhunt was a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a great coach. He wasn't a great head coach. Some guys, I just think they have a space and they operate well in that space, and then when they try to go outside of that space, it just doesn't work out.
Now, I've heard stories mainly from you, but you didn't want to get on Dinger's bad side.
Oh no, you didn't want to get on. Oh no, you didn't want to get on. And I loved that. I loved coaches like that, whether it be Mike Heimerdinger or John Harbaugh, because their passion was like the players' passion. And Jeff Fisher was the same way. They just had, and that's why I love Vrabel so much, because that passion that he brings to the game, he doesn't, even though he's gotten away from, reacting the way a player will react. We saw all of that in the first year when he was challenging things he shouldn't have been challenging and all this other stuff. But even now, he's been able to balance it. He's been able to balance from being a really good head coach, but still having that fire of a player.
Yeah.
And that's why the guys play for him. That's why they love him.
Well, and look, I think David Beauclair, I understand where he was going with that. He was good. Garrison says, man, Arthur was pretty dang good, though.
Oh, Arthur was good.
If Arthur didn't leave, we definitely would have went to the Super Bowl last year, even if Tannehill throws 5 interceptions.
He would have stopped throwing the ball there. After about 3, he'd have been like, nah, we're going to ride there. We're riding there, Henry.
Fire up the truck.
Exactly. We're going to do it that way.
But I just think Dinger took a really good offense and made it a great offense.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And I've heard you mention it. Eddie's brought it up. It just the talent that you all had, it just went to another level. And honestly, I don't think you have the career that you had without
Dinger. Yeah, I can admit that. Like, it was the way his offensive scheme and the sort of leeway that he allowed us to have was great for my career. Dinger he produced a MVP in that offense. As much as I like Arthur Smith didn't produce an MVP. Now, Derrick Henry was close.
Yeah.
But he didn't produce an MVP.
He had a 2,000-yard
Exactly.
rusher.
Mike Heimerdinger produced an MVP in that offense. He produced Pro Bowlers and all pro guys in that offense that he ran. And until an offensive coordinator does that or get to the Super Bowl, then Dinger will always be the guy for me.
Yeah, and look, Dinger and Arthur can say this. They both had 2,000-yard rushers.
Exactly.
So
because he had Chris Johnson.
Yep.
And Arthur had Derrick Henry. So, it's those little things that sort of tilt the scale for me. That's why Dinger, until somebody else do those things and get to those places that Dinger got,
Yeah.
Nick will always be the Titans' best offensive coordinator.
Coming up, we'll get into the Predators as they take on the Islanders tonight, trying to make it 3 in a row in the win column. We'll do that next. But when it comes to sports, it's all happening right now with my friends at Superbook Sports. Got to meet some of them last night at Smashville Live, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, and soon enough the World Cup. There's no better place to wager on all of that than Superbook Sports. When you sign up, deposit, and wager all in the same day, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $1,000. When the sports world is busy, it's time to get busy winning some money at Superbook Sports. So do like I did. Make it your official sportsbook. Download the app, put your deposit in, and get to betting. If you want to put a little parlay together, paying 4-1, Titans and Preds both to win tonight on the money line, you can do that. It's up to you. Everything is available at the Superbook Sports app. So download that app today. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
You watch the game. We talk the game.
The college football playoff rankings. Tennessee, the #1 team in the country.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Big Joe on the go. Look, I get it. Nobody likes being in a car accident, but when that happens, make it easy on yourself and call Apple Collision Centers so you don't have to stress. They're locally owned with 3 convenient locations in O'Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Apple Collision Centers managers combined for 60-plus years experience, and they only recommend original equipment parts on your vehicle. So if you're in need of a repair today or down the road, just head over to Apple Collision Centers. Stan and his team will take great care of you. Online, applecollisioncenters.com.
Attention Preds fans, this is Jeremy, General Manager at Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars at 508 Church Street in downtown Smashville. Come check out the most awarded cigar and bourbon lounge in the country and watch our Golden Blue Preds make another Stanley Cup playoff run. Take a picture with me, post to our Blend Facebook and Instagram, and be entered to win a special Davidoff package. Experience luxury at its finest with the best spirits and cigars in the industry. Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars, time beautifully filled.
Vanderbilt fans, your flagship home for the broadcast of football and men's basketball is 93.3 Classic Hits. For the weekly Commodore Hour show featuring head coach Clark Lee, tune in to 94.9 The Fan on Monday nights at 6 p.m.
Genesis Diamond's biggest and last sale of the year is here this weekend. It's an extraordinary event with savings up to 35% store-wide. Nothing's held back for this once-a-year 3-day store-wide event. Acclaimed designers are here with expanded collections and special pricing. Plus, get 0% interest financing. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also included. It's this Friday, Saturday, and yes, even open Sunday for this incredible event. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am Hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerinAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game, sir.
Checkered flag in the air. The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3.
This is your drive to the playoffs update, presented by Coleman Tractor, Tennessee's largest Kubota dealer, on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's game day for the Tennessee Titans, and Mike Vrabel has already ruled out some guys for tonight's game. Monty Hooker, Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, Randy Bullock, and Lonnie Johnson. But the biggest question today is if Jeffrey Simmons or Elijah Molden will play tonight. They're currently listed as questionable on the injury report. Mike Vrabel said that with all these injuries on defense, he is proud of the way the guys have stepped up.
Well, they play hard. They play extremely hard. They, if they give up a play, they've they've figured out how to go down and get stops and been opportunistic with turnovers. Stopped giving up a lot of explosive gains. So those are things that'll help you no matter who's out there. And like KB said, and I appreciate everybody recognizing it. As guys get opportunities, and it's cool to see them take advantage of them, and then they'll hopefully earn more opportunities and be ready to go if we need them.
Josh Lambo will be kicking tonight for the Titans in Lambeau Field. Going to be 19 degrees in Green Bay tonight. Kickoff is set for 7:15. This report is presented by Coleman Tractor. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee,
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason here at Bridgestone Arena, the Jack Daniels Barrel House. Predators and Islanders here tonight. We'll have pregame coverage with Max Hers starting at 6 o'clock, and then the puck drop just after 7. It is a Preds game day, which is presented by Social Furniture. They offer same-day delivery and installation. Shop today during their Black Friday sale for a limited time and take an extra 20% off. Shop local. Shop Social over on the west side. All right, Predators, Islanders tonight. And Derek, they are trying to go for 3 in a row. Trying to make this a winning streak. They get the 2-1 win on Saturday, their return home against the Rangers. They get the 2-1 win on Tuesday against the Minnesota Wild. So while we're at it, are we going to call a 2-1 win tonight over the Islanders and just keep that score going?
Let's do it. Let's call it
a win's a win, right?
A win's a win. I'll take it. I'll take it. So,
but I think there's another level, and this is something that we talked about yesterday. I really liked the game Tuesday night that Duchesne and Johansson had. And I think that was more their type of game. Juuso Parssinen has gotten called up. He's added a little spark to the offense. But I think that that you need to get to that next level. And I feel like they're trying to do that. And being at home helps you because they got 5 straight at home that started with the Rangers. So then you got 1 game in Detroit, your hometown. You come back for 3 more at Bridgestone Arena to end the month of November. So I really like the fact that you have so many home games right now, but now you kind of build on what you started with these last 2 games and the 2 wins.
Well, yeah, you just hope that now the team is sort of finding their groove. You hope that, what we saw in the first, 10 games isn't indicative of who this team is. What we've seen in the last 2 games, we hope that's who this team really is.
Sure.
You saw Saros pick up his game. Duchesne picks up his game. Nino Niederreiter gets another goal. I mean, this team it seems as if they're starting to come into form, and it's at the right time. But you hope that they can keep this going moving forward, because the last thing you want is to win 2 and then, drop another 2 or 3, and it becomes this inconsistent thing. But now that, you see UC playing a little bit better, you hope that translates into more wins than not.
Yeah, and speaking of UC Saros, John Hines, the head coach, was on with Robbie and Rexroad earlier today, and he discussed his goaltender having a little extra help.
I think there were some situations where I think he got back on his heels a little bit, particularly when we got back from Europe. Like the first shot against Dallas, went in, and I thought there was more situations like that. But we've talked to him. I think mentally he's better. I also think it's been good that we've been able to play Lankinen too, where sometimes when a goalie struggles a little bit, whether it's with certain things or just mentally, the practice time is important. And Juice is such a technical guy. That I think has been nice that we've been able to get him some practice time, some games off, with him feeling good about his partner going in and helping us win a game and playing well.
That's John Hines this morning. And I think that's a good point. Kevin Lankinen was on Smashville Live last night. Got to talk to him a little bit. He's been a really nice addition to this team because if you think back, Mace, you had for so long Pecorine and UC Saros. You had a 1-2 punch.
Exactly.
Even though Pekka was the top guy, as Saros got older and got more experience, he became, basically your 1B, and then eventually took the job, and that's where we are here today. Lankinen, I think, has provided a nice spark and is a heck of a backup to UC Saros, but it's all about confidence. And I've seen the last 2 games, and even though you'd love to go out and win 6-0 every night,
yeah,
when you have these tight battles like they've had against the Rangers and against the Wild and likely are going to have tonight against the Islanders, I think that is huge for a goalie's confidence to be able to hang in those games and know that he's the one backstopping you to a win.
Well, it's everyone should gain confidence from that. The goalie, who had been struggling a little bit, now he seemed to sort of have found his footing, or the guys that are in front of him. Now they believe and they know that, okay, UC's back. He's back to the old UC. Now we can sort of pick this thing up and they gain more confidence. And then the head coach, he can do things probably a little bit different now that his goalie is back to form, because especially and I'm sure on the hockey, if your goalie is struggling, you're not going to take as many chances or you're going to be more of a defensive-minded team as a head coach. But when you got UC playing at top form, and hopefully he's back to that, now you can possibly take more chances. Now you could possibly, get that offense to going because you know that our guy in net is going to hold us down.
I mentioned Juuso Parssinen and the spark that he's added to the lineup. John Hines commented on him earlier today.
Against Minnesota, I thought he played pretty well. I think there's a little bit more there. Just, I thought there were some plays where he's such a good skater and a big, strong guy in good sense. I thought there was some forced plays that I think took the line or himself out of offensive situations. But I really liked he was good from a defensive aspect. I thought in the offensive zone, like he can play against NHL players with his power and size. And now it's just making sure that for him he's not forcing plays at this level. He's such a good player. I think just if he can continue to take what the game gives him, I think he's going to be in a much a guy that's going to be able to continue to play well. But I thought it was 2 pretty good games for him.
That's John Hines on Juuso Parssinen and what he's seen out of him in the first 2 games. And I think it's awesome when a rookie makes their debut and they score a goal. But it also adds something because you go, oh, he's going to do that every night. He's going to be, oh, yeah, here we go. He's a superstar. He's going to be the goal per game player. And we know that it doesn't work like that. It's like a receiver or running back or whatever in the NFL making their debut and they score a touchdown. You just expect that every time. There are more aspects to the game, and therefore he's going to have to grow into it.
Well, yeah, he's going to it's just like anything. That first let's just say sports. It's just like any sport. When you have a good prospect, a good player, and he's playing or she's playing for the first time, well, you know what? For the first time, the team that they're playing are just now seeing this person, man or woman, for the first time. So they don't know quite how to defend that. And, so they keep it honest. And that player may have a great game. And then you know what happens across the league, whether it be NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, WNBA. You know what happens? They start to watch film, and they're like, we can't let this player get us again.
Right.
Now we need to start paying attention.
Right.
That's what happens. So you hope that the young man can continue, but more than likely, it won't be like that. He probably still ends up being a good player, I have no doubt, but it's not a goal a game.
Right.
I don't think anybody scored a goal a game.
No.
Have they? No.
No, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Haven't seen that yet.
Exactly, me either.
Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, 615-737-1025 if you want to weigh in on anything we've talked about to this point. But coming up next, we'll get back into the Titans matchup at Lambeau as they will take on the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. Be sure to tune in for the NFL pregame show tonight, live from Twin Peaks in Cool Springs, located at 1634 Galleria Boulevard. You can join Caroline Fenton and D-Mase and Chris Sanders from 4 to 6 prior to the Titans taking on the Green Bay Packers. Pregame is presented by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Superbook Sports, and Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:45. Join Robbie and Rex Road for The Choice Is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice Is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The choice is yours. Wednesdays at 8:45 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Joe Rexer here for FanDuel Sportsbook, letting you know this is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up with promo code Joe102. FanDuel has your favorite bets, moneyline, point spreads, player props, but you can combine them for a chance at a bigger payout with the same-game parlay. And if I was looking at a same-game parlay with the big Titans-Packers game, I'd be looking at Derrick Henry getting in the end zone, anytime touchdown, Aaron Rodgers under on the pass yards. I like the Titans and the points. I think the Titans are going to win this game and cover. And, of course, they are getting some points. So that's what I would do. You do whatever you want. And remember, also with FanDuel, you get live betting, updated odds during a game. You get paid fast. It's safe. It's secure. And very important for me, folks, it's very easy to use. Sign up today with promo code Joe102 for your no-sweat first bet. Again, promo code Joe102. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. For us online where money wager only. Refund issued. Is now $1 free bets. Expired 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Family Leisure's Ultimate Game Room Sale is back.
Huge discounts up to 50% off on all kinds of game room furniture and accessories.
Slate pool tables from Brunswick and Legacy pool tables. Prices starting as low as $14.99 installed.
Perfect for Christmas.
Family Leisure has huge savings on massage chairs. Full body massage chairs starting at only $9.99. 4D massage chair more than half off at $29.99.
Family Leisure guarantees to beat anyone's advertised home theater seating prices. Shuffleboards, foosball, and air hockey tables on sale as well.
That's Family Leisure at both locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down and maybe haven't been getting the exercise you need? If you want to get back to the man you used to be but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns to problems with muscle gain, bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction, and if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've treated thousands of men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader, supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
I love this show.
Never miss a moment of the show.
Okay, all right, okay.
Subscribe to the Chase, Willy, and D-Mase podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Preds fans, hang out before the Preds game at Superbook Lounge and Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway with 102.5, 106.3, The Game. You can place your bets with Superbook and enjoy great food and drink specials. Plus, enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Preds home game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason with you. Willy Donick is going to be up here in just a few minutes when he's done with morning skate duties. And again, Predators taking on the Islanders here tonight. But the Titans and the Packers in Lambeau Field. So Aaron Jones is averaging 73.8 yards per game this year, 5.6 yards per attempt. We really saw the run game, and you throw A.J. Dillon in there as kind of the complimentary back. But Aaron Jones, to me, is the focal point, and it worked against the Dallas Cowboys. That's how they beat them. Do you think, though, that Green Bay is going to be able to do that tonight against this Titans defense, or is it going to force Aaron Rodgers to have to throw more? And right now, is that a good thing?
We would have I don't think, a year ago, 2 years ago, at least let's say the beginning of the season, we would have never come on these airwaves and said, man, we need to stop Green Bay's run and not worry too much about their passing game. It's almost like we want him to pass the ball and not them run the ball. Those two things don't operate in the same space. Aaron Rodgers and wanting them to throw the football. Aaron Rodgers and wanting them to throw the football. That don't operate in any other world but the world we live in today. Because Green Bay Packers have been a good run game, and they've struggled in the past this year. And we all know why. The young talent that he has hasn't been on the same page with him. There's been a lot of drop balls, inconsistencies. And it's almost like we want Green Bay to throw the ball because they haven't proven they can be consistent. One thing they have proven is they are consistently a good run team. Well, the Titans are a good run stopping team.
Yep.
So how does that work out, tonight after having, really 2 days off, 3 days off? Can the Titans still stand strong against the run, against a team that knows that if we want to get our offense going, we need to run the football. It's no longer get our offense going by throwing the football and then we can run. No, with Green Bay, uncharacteristically, it's let's run the football first to open up the passing game because they're inconsistency. So I think the Titans will do a good job. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw the football in order to win this game. And does that, after what happened last week with the Green Bay Packers and their emergence of who was it? Watson? Is that the receiver?
Yeah,
Watson.
Christian Watson.
Yeah, Christian Watson. Their emergence of Watson last week. Maybe they think they can throw the ball a little bit more. So the Titans are going to force them. I know they are. They're going to force them to throw the football because the Titans are really good against the run.
They are. And, I think Jeffrey Simmons could be a key in all this. Is he back? But, they did a good job against it last week, even without him.
Yeah.
So I think that could potentially be something this week as well. But I never, it's like you, and we talked about this yesterday. I never thought we'd live in a world where I would go, I kind of want Aaron Rodgers to have to throw it.
I pray that he throws the ball 40 times, please.
Why is it, like, you go back and you watch, like, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, those three especially, that in their prime, in their best, it didn't matter who the receiver was. Mm-hmm. They would make that receiver look like a Hall of Famer. They would make that receiver look like Jerry Rice. Now, as they've gotten older, I think Brady's been able to do it probably a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. But he also has some of the best
talent. Yeah.
He has some of the best talent he's ever had.
Exactly.
So why is it, though, that those guys were able to do that so well?
They are once a generation quarterbacks. Tom didn't start off that way, but damn it, he's that way now. He's a once in a lifetime of football quarterback. Nobody else has been better than him. Nobody else I can see will be better than him. No one will. I don't believe no one will eclipse the numbers that he's putting up in regards to his career. 100,000 yards in passing, 7 Super Bowls, everything else to come along with that. I don't think nobody will ever pass that feat that he's established. Peyton Manning was the same way. Aaron Rodgers is the same way. You're talking about once-in-a-generation quarterbacks. So they were able to do it because of their skill set and their intellect of the game and their knowledge. Now what is happening, it happened to Peyton, and, it happened a lot to Peyton because of the injury, I think. I think he could have, had he not been injured, he'd have played almost just as long as Tom Brady. But because of injury, he wasn't able to. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have the talent. And he doesn't want to take those chances anymore that he used to take with Devontae Adams. Because he knows that I can take that with Devontae Adams, and more than likely Devontae's going to come down with it. I've tried it with these guys, and these guys are not coming down with the ball. You saw with Tom Brady, when he didn't have Evans or Godwin out there, he struggled.
Sure.
Now he has Godwin back. That's his Gronk. Godwin is his Gronk. And when he needs a play, he goes to Godwin. When he needs a deep pass or crucial catch in the end zone, he goes to Evans. He still has those playmakers. Where Aaron Rodgers doesn't have those established playmakers, let's say that. And he's struggling a little bit now because of that. He's getting older. He isn't anticipating the way he used to. But he's still a quarterback that is very, very dangerous. And if you overlook the aspect of him throwing a football, that could spell disaster for you as a defense.
I also think that, Brady probably got better, number one, because he had a chip on his shoulder, being a 6th-round pick. But I think he got better because he had to be the one that was the best, not having like the top flight receivers. Randy Moss was probably the best receiver that he ever had. When he got to that point, I mean, he had.
He's had some really.
He had Edelman. He had Welker.
He had Edelman, Welker.
Who was the
Gibbons?
Guy? Who was the guy from? I think
he
was
went
from
to Seattle.
Louisville.
He
won the MVP.
Yeah, he won the MVP in the Super Bowl.
I'm blanking on his name.
Man, what was his name? But he ended up signing a deal with Seattle.
Yeah,
and leaving. And his career was never the same.
And then he came back.
So, with these quarterbacks, man, it's just these
Deion Branch.
Yeah, Deion Branch.
Yeah.
These elite quarterbacks, man, we look at them and we marvel at what they're able to do. But then, we got to give kudos to the people that are throwing it to as well. Because if they're not getting open and they're not making those tough catches, then Tom's not who he is now. Peyton's not who he is. Aaron's not who he is. They go hand in hand. That's why I say you don't want to, even though Green Bay hasn't been throwing the football as well as of lately, you don't want to go in and disrespect Aaron Rodgers' ability to win the game throwing the football. You never want to walk into a building and discount Aaron Rodgers and say, okay, we don't need to worry about Aaron Rodgers because he hadn't been consistent this year. We need to worry about the run game. Well, yeah, you need to worry about the run game. You need to worry about stopping it. But your number one focus should be Aaron Rodgers and not letting him get any momentum throwing the football. Because I think I listened to him the other day. He said he was finally getting to a point where he was throwing the football where he wanted to throw it. And it was getting right where he wanted to throw it. That's dangerous. When Aaron Rodgers comes out and said, this is the first time I threw the ball, I was throwing the ball exactly where I wanted to throw it, and it was getting there. That's dangerous because now he's getting in the rhythm. And, coming into the game, your main focus still has to be Aaron Rodgers with stopping the run as being 1B.
Then you got to fluster him.
Yeah, you have to. So.
which is not easy to do sometimes, or is it? Or, I don't know. 615-737-1025 if you want to weigh in on the Titans as they take on the Packers tonight. What are you looking for as a key for the Titans to get the victory tonight? 615-737-1025. It's Chase, Willy, D-Mase, Chase, and Derek right now at Bridgestone Arena, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Hey, I'm Matthias Ekholm, and this is Smashville.
Ekholm, his shot, he scores! Matthias Ekholm gets the Predators' third of the night.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
As a roofer, every second counts. Late deliveries and incomplete orders cost me time and money. That's why I partner with Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. With Beacon, I know my supplies will be delivered on time and complete. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Go to BECN.com to get started building with Beacon. Beacon, always building.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024.
National Playmakers Academy with former Vols Buck Fitzgerald and James Stone, along with former Austin Peay Governor Vic Wright, offer one of the best football developmental organizations in the nation. MPA has over 30 NFL alumni, 800-plus college football scholarship signees, and 25 high school football All-Americans. If you have a student athlete in middle school or high school that is looking for the best football training and college football recruiting help around, contact National Playmakers Academy today, 615-456-2680, or email april.mpafootball@gmail.com. Are you looking for Tennessee grown and crafted THC, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 products? Then float on over to ounceofhope.com. On top of the widest selection of luxury edibles and smokables, their customer service team is high quality and prepared to help select the right cannabis product for your needs. Their knowledgeable team will have you flying high with a smile. That's ounceofhope.com, made locally in Memphis. Ounce of Hope is Memphis Flyers' best cannabis shop 2 years in a row. Legal THC delivered to your door. ounceofhope.com.
The Nashville Jam Company is already a super popular weekend breakfast and brunch destination. But with summer over, it's time to put the beach body away for a while. So for fall, they've expanded their offerings and added what they call the Meat and Three menu. Yeah, cool weather and Southern comfort food go hand in hand. And the stars of this show are the hefty meatloaf, Southern fried catfish, slow-cooked pot roast, fried chicken, Salisbury steak, and a slew of other rib, stick, and delicacies. And they have salads, too, if you're into that kind of thing. Come see the new menu Monday through Friday from 10:30 till 2.
When Genesis Diamonds has a sale, you know it's the real deal. And it's happening this weekend. Our final store-wide sale of the year with deep discounts up to 35% off. This is the big one. The one where the staff knows they can break all the rules. Plus, Genesis selection is nearly double, with designers here from LA and New York with their entire collections, all on sale. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also marked down. This is the last and best jewelry buying opportunity of the year. Save up to 35% and get zero interest financing. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. Only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Laura Rutledge from the SEC Network, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, talking about the Titans and the Packers tonight. Predators wrapping up morning skate. We'll get that report from Willy when he gets up here in just a few minutes of what to expect tonight, lineup-wise, and what have you. If he's going to go with the same lineup, John Hines, that is, we will see. As we're live at Bridgestone Arena here in the Jack Daniels Barrel House. The cold tonight, you know, you hate cold, as we've learned about you, Derek, over the years. So what did you do to prepare for knowing that you were going to play in really cold conditions? It's going to be in the 20s.
Yeah, there was nothing I could do. I mean, you know, I didn't wear sleeves. You know, I had my heat packs. I had my hand warmers. But that was really about it. I tried to wear what I would wear on a warm day. We had
Did you wear sleeves or no?
No sleeves. I like to feel the football.
Yeah.
You know, I tried not to wear sleeves. I can't. I maybe.
I've seen you. I've
worn sleeves a few times.
I think against New England, you did.
I don't even know if I wore sleeves in that game.
You had I
had some on my head, but I didn't have any sleeves on. I know I wore it like my first year or two in a league. I wore it because I wasn't playing a lot, so I was sitting on the sideline. But once I started to play a lot, I stopped wearing it because I couldn't feel the football.
I used to crack up at Brad Hopkins telling the story with the O-line that
that
you basically what you wore in August is what you wore in December. So if you wanted sleeves in December, you wore sleeves in August.
Absolutely. So that's the way it was.
You just had to deal with it. But, you know, as we know, offensive linemen are a different breed. But I do wonder about that, especially with, you know, and I mentioned Ryan Tannehill and his ankle, but what about Jeffrey Simmons and his ankle? You know, if he does play tonight, you know, how will the elements, the cold, I don't think it's supposed to snow or rain or anything, but the cold, you know, how will that affect that? And also, you know, guys dealing with hamstrings.
To me, it's the hamstrings for me. Even though you can put a hot patch on it to try to keep it warm, you know, that hamstring, even on a warm day, if it's bothering you, it's bothering you. And there's nothing that you can do. You just hope that, you know, you don't, you know, tweak it or hurt it any more than what it actually is. We saw last week, you know, it was pretty warm outside last week. And, you know, guys still left the game because of their hamstring. So this makes it even worse playing in these conditions. I'm not worried about Ryan Tannehill's ankle. I think he'll be fine. It's the guys with hamstring problems that I'm worried about.
The injury report, Randy Bullock, Bud Dupree, Lonnie Johnson, Ben Jones, Amani Hooker, all out tonight for the Titans. Jeffrey Simmons and Elijah Molden, who's dealing with a groin, they are both listed as questionable. The hope is both of those guys will be able to go, but Jeffrey Simmons did miss last week, so you wonder if it's going to be the case once again. 615-737-1025. Let's go to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Nate has a question on Derrick Henry. Nate, welcome in.
Well, I didn't think about the cold probably impacting Ryan Tannehill. I think he'd be fine because I think it's just going to go numb with it being 20 degrees. So I don't think he's going to be able to feel it in the first place. Anyways, Derrick Henry, if and keeps running Derrick Henry the entire game, I feel like the defense is going to want to basically almost quit tackling him later in the game because it's so cold. They're basically going to be running into a brick wall.
Okay, thanks for the call, Nate. What do you think?
Him running into a brick wall? I mean, Derrick Henry.
Keep running him, basically.
I mean, what other choice did they have?
Right.
You know, you would love to be in a position where the Titans didn't have to rely so much on Derrick Henry. But we know that's not the world that the Titans live in right now. And they didn't live in that world last year. Even though they had A.J. Brown, they still had to rely on the run game. Half the season with Derrick Henry, and then the other half with Foreman and running back by committee, and they were able to do a good job. You just, because of what they are not able to do offensively from a pass standpoint, you're going to have to ride Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry understands it.
Yep.
And you don't have no other option to turn to that you can rely on consistently. You can't turn and rely on the pass game consistently because it's been inconsistent. So the only thing you can rely on that has been consistent is the run game. So I feel for Derrick Henry, but he understands. Listen, if we are going to go far, it's up to me to get him there.
Let's see. Mike Garafolo has tweeted out Jeffrey Simmons is expected to play tonight against the Packers. Source tell me in Rap Sheet. One of the top defensive linemen in the game is back after missing last week's win over the Broncos. So Mike Garafolo reporting that Jeffrey Simmons will be in tonight. He's listed as questionable. That's huge. We'll see how effective he is because I do think that, you watch that game against the Chiefs, he was definitely limited, but made an impact at the same time. Nate texts in and says, no, I mean the Packers defense running into Henry, the brick wall. That's what he meant.
Oh, the Packers defense running into Henry. I said Henry was going to have 2 bills. I still believe it. That Packer defense is just going to they haven't played a running back like Derrick Henry. Not many, it's like you haven't played a running back like Derrick Henry until you play Derrick Henry.
Right.
So, that defense from a run standpoint is horrible. And, Derrick Henry, that's why this is going to be, I believe, one of those Derrick Henry nights. Now, whether the Titans win or not, I don't know, but this is going to be a Derrick Henry night. What the Titans can allow it for it to be is a Aaron Rodgers type of night as well. So if you have a Derrick Henry and an Aaron Rodgers type of night, whoever has the ball last will win. That's the way I feel.
Another texter, Ron, says, I can't wait to see Rodgers swearing on the sideline as he's getting off the ground. Simmons and this defense need to keep him frustrated.
Yeah, they're going to have to. The best way to beat the great ones out there, whether it's Manning at the time or whether it's Rodgers or Brady or Mahomes, is you get them uncomfortable in the pocket. You make them pat their feet. You make them get a little jittery in the huddle, in the pocket. When you make them feel uncomfortable in the pocket, you are on your way to having a good day. If you allow those guys to sit in the pocket and become comfortable with what they're doing, I feel for you. But the Titans defense, the way they approach each game, they've made it hell for every quarterback that has played them this year. They haven't come out with a win every time, but they've made it, very difficult for quarterbacks just to sit in the pocket and pass the football.
Coming up next, I'm going to tag Willy in. Willy, here, we'll tag in. And Willy will join and give us an update from morning skate. I have some suit duties to tend to, so I'll let you guys take it away as the Predators and Islanders in action tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Packers, Titans, and at Lambeau in Green Bay. We'll continue all that discussion coming up next on Chase Willy D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
185! Every team needs a quarterback. 185! That's why we have
Hasselbeck, bootleg, rollout, toss, touchdown!
Tim. ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck gives his expertise on all things NFL.
How that team is built, I think there's a lot to like about them.
Every Tuesday at noon, Tim with Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. Presented by Red Spirit and Wine in Bellevue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. No code red weather ahead of us here. A very easy weather pattern, but a very cool one as well. High temperatures this afternoon taking us into the upper 30s and low 40s, and we'll stay in that territory until we get into the upcoming weekend.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Joe Rexford here for FanDuel Sportsbook. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That means free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code Joe102. FanDuel's got your favorites, moneyline, point spread, player props, but you can combine them for a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, get those odds updated during the games. Of course, you get paid fast. It's safe, secure. Very important for me. It's easy to use. If you want to look at Thursday's game, Packers with a huge comeback to beat the Cowboys. Titans somehow finding a way to stack wins. It's Titans at Packers. You know, I would be thinking anytime touchdown for Derrick Henry. I know he didn't have a big day against the Broncos. I think he'll bounce back. I think I'd go Titans, too. That'd be 2 of my 3 on a parlay for that. Sign up today with promo code Joe102 for your no-sweat first bet. Again, promo code Joe102. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, present in Tennessee. First online minimum wager only. Refund issue is now available. Free bets expire 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Get me a problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org. Mount Juliet now has a new Dunkin' store, and the game invites you to join us this Friday morning for their grand opening at 2234 North Mount Juliet Road. We'll be there with Predators tickets to give away, plus lots of free stuff. That's this Friday morning at the new Dunkin' in Mount Juliet.
Jared Stillman.
If you get 3 games where he doesn't turn the ball over, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Caroline Fenton.
I don't know if he would be open to joining another team.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
And welcome back to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. 102.5 The Game, 106.3 The Game Nashville app. Willie Donick here with you now at Barrel House. Just came upstairs. Morning skate. A lot of New York media in town with the Islanders here. And the Predators and Islanders will go head-to-head tonight at 7 o'clock. It's a game where the Predators are looking for their 3rd straight win here on this homestand. But they'll have to beat an Islanders team that's won 9 out of 11. They have been outstanding of late. D-Mase, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. You know.
Big night.
Big night. We got
Preds and Titans
Preds
going.
and Titans.
It's a 2 TV night.
Absolutely. You got to have it. You know, you got to have the, TV on Prime, and you got to have the TV on Bally. It's Bally's, right, tonight?
It is Bally.
Yeah, it's Bally's tonight, so you got to have that split screen, people.
That's right.
You got to watch it because both games are important, so you got to watch them.
I'm glad I'm doing the Predators game because at home I don't the technology. I'd be challenged. I'd be challenged tonight. Although I was asked this question and I meant to check on this before the show. When your local team is playing, is the game available on a local market? Nick, maybe is it on NFL Network?
No, it's on Prime.
It's only on Amazon Prime, even when your team in your market.
I don't know about that.
That would be correct, Willie.
What's that?
It's going to be only on Amazon.
Only on Amazon has sole rights to it. So once again, you got to watch it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So people out there, if you don't have
prepare
Prime,
accordingly.
Yeah,
prepare accordingly.
Yeah, prepare because if you don't have
Fire
Prime,
Stick,
get somewhere where they do have Prime.
What were some of the things you guys were telling me I needed to get? Because
I have Fire Stick. You need to get
the Fire
that.
Stick. I don't have the Fire Stick. I have the HDMI cord that I've been plugging into the TV.
All Willie needs is the HDMI plugged in, and he needs to do the split screen on his laptop. Then he's all square up there in the booth, right? I mean, hopefully.
No, you can't watch the game.
Yeah, that will not happen for me tonight.
You can't watch the game tonight.
I'm going to hit the old record button and come back and watch the Titans after
I don't know
a
single person that records anymore, Willie.
I do record because I like to go back and watch it.
Well,
if 2 games are on, like say for instance, if UT's playing and say Michigan State's playing, when I'm gonna watch Michigan, I'm gonna tape UT and I'm gonna watch Michigan State, so I can go back and watch the UT game. So I record games a lot.
I record the Titans all the time because half the time my son plays fall baseball, so a lot of times he's been out of pocket for some of those games, actually on the field playing. So I've had to come back. A lot of the Preds, a lot of times we're traveling on a Sunday or playing on a Sunday. So there are times I've got to come back and watch after the fact. So I always record it. So a lot of challenges tonight. We'll see what happens from the Predators' end. They're playing a team in the Islanders coached by Lane Lambert. Now, this is an interesting story, D-Mase. The Islanders had some great success under Barry Trotz, the longtime coach for the Predators. But last year, the Islanders had a huge wave of COVID hit them early in the season. And it hit their whole team. And it happened to them before it started happening around the league a lot more. So they felt like they were sort of the guinea pigs. They didn't shut their team down. So basically they were playing with a minor league team for several weeks as they started to get guys back here and there. Some guys were more sick than others. They also had a brand new arena that wasn't ready at the start of the season. So their first, 12 games were on the road. So they had that, and then they had all these home games in a brand new building. But when it opened, COVID hit the team. So they had half of their team out. So their season just went down the tubes early on. So they made a coaching change. They let Barry Trotz go, which a lot of people were like, wait a minute. Didn't show the guy much slack
considering what happened.
But they did it. They inserted Lane Lambert, who was a longtime Barry Trotz assistant, not only for the Islanders, but before that for Washington when they won the Cup together. And then even here in the last couple of years that Barry Trotz was with the Predators. So Lane Lambert has done a very good job, and they're 11-6. They're playing a little faster than they have before, but they've got the same guys that they've had for a long time. It's a veteran team with a lot of depth, so it's a good challenge for the Predators tonight if they're going to try to keep this, this little win streak. We had an argument yesterday.
It's a streak. It's a streak.
You say
I say it's a streak. Anything but two is a streak.
3, there's no discussion.
That's a heater.
That's
a heater.
We want the heater. The heater is good. So we'll see what happens tonight. It doesn't look like it was hard to tell from the morning skate today, but it looks obvious that UC Soros will play again. Don't think any big lineup changes tonight. They're going to keep it going, and we'll see if they can put together another good effort tonight. Certainly won't be easy. Meanwhile, I know you guys have sort of hit backwards and forwards. What's going to happen tonight? What's the latest weather in Green Bay?
Man,
cold, not
let's
ridiculous.
Let's just say it's going to be cold. Okay. Yeah. Now, how cold it's going to be in Green Bay? That's a different story. You're talking about anywhere from
Yesterday when I checked, it didn't look ridiculous. I think it was maybe in the high 20s, in the 30s, when I'm like, okay, mid-November, I'll take it as long as it's not a blizzard. I can remember, Derek, games you played in and some extreme cold. I remember the one game in Cleveland where there was at least a foot of snow on the field. You remember that one. I think Eddie George ran it 40-something times or whatever it was. You guys stopped passing. You got the lead 2000, I think.
Yeah, was that in Cleveland?
It was in Cleveland.
And it was a blizzard. I mean, it was a complete blizzard.
It's the most snow I can remember a game the Titans have played on the field. Like, you could see the snow, like your ankles.
Yeah.
It was ankle deep.
Yeah, it was there. It was a fun game, though.
You caught a couple passes
I caught
early.
a couple passes
You guys
early.
went down and scored, and then once you got like a 2-score lead, it was like, we're not taking any chances.
George. Let's just run Eddie George. And Eddie George had I think he had like 150 yards, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a heater tonight. It's a heater tonight in Green Bay.
In Green Bay?
Oh,
it's going to be warm.
Oh, it's going to be 25 degrees.
25 degrees. Hey, okay. Not
it's going to
bad.
be a burner tonight, boy. 25 degrees.
You wouldn't even wear sleeves or anything.
No, heck no. Not in 25-degree weather. No, man. Goodness. Oh, man.
Those offensive linemen, they never wear sleeves anyway. Wasn't that one of those things that the offensive line did on the teams you played? They would never wear sleeves.
Yeah, well, you had to. Whatever you started off the year in, like in training camp, when it was 100 degrees, if you wore sleeves then, you had to wear sleeves at the end of the year, no matter what. If you didn't wear sleeves when it was 100 degrees, you couldn't wear sleeves when it was 2 degrees. That's the way the offensive linemen, that's how they rolled. So
wow. How you start is how you finish.
Exactly. Absolutely. So
the other one I remember, Derek, of course, was the playoff game against the Patriots. That was the coldest I think, degrees-wise. What was it, like 4 degrees? But the wind chill was even lower. But that game, I admired both the Titans and the Patriots in that game, how well they you guys threw the passes. It's not like everybody had to run. You guys were throwing the ball. You made a lot of catches in that game. I thought for as cold as that game was, I thought it was a great football game because both teams handled the elements pretty well. They could still pass.
Yeah, we still was able to pass. So and just because it's cold outside, when it's 20 degrees or 10 degrees, it doesn't mean you can't throw the ball. It's when you get into the snowy weather or the raining weather where you have extreme troubles at throwing the football. So just because it's cold doesn't mean we can't throw the football. You just have to. The quarterback has to be aware of the football, and it gets colder, it gets a little bit harder, it gets possibly a little bit more slick. So the quarterback just has to be aware of that, and receivers have to be aware of it as well. It's not like we're just going to shut it down and not pass the ball. So they shouldn't have a problem unless it turns into snow or something like that. But if both teams want to throw the football in this weather, they can. Green Bay's used to it.
That's the thing that I would be a little concerned with is there an adjustment for the Titans if it does get really cold? I mean, it's not like Ryan Tannehill hasn't played a lot of games in cold weather, but I wonder too, the equipment guys keeping the football with a good grip. How tough is that when the weather gets cold? Because the receivers have the gloves, right? So if the ball is
quarterbacks, there, some quarterbacks wear the gloves. You see quarterbacks wearing gloves. They may wear it on its offhand, but some quarterbacks do wear it on their throwing hand as well.
I have seen, the first guy I ever saw do that was Jim McMahon. I'd never seen a guy do that, and then he liked it so much he just kept wearing them, even in a dome, like the Super Bowl. If you look at the Super Bowl film, he's wearing gloves on both hands.
Because it just you get it get that extra grip on the ball. Some quarterbacks like that they have that extra control of the ball in cold weather. Some quarterbacks don't like it at all because they can't feel the ball.
That's how I would think. I would prefer not to do it. I would want to feel the ball, but I guess if you can't grip it very well and you get used to the glove.
But if you have bigger hands, I mean, it doesn't. You gripping the ball shouldn't be that much of an issue for you.
I would also be a little bit concerned about different center. This will be the first game that Ryan Tannehill doesn't have Ben Jones as the center. I think the last time he missed a game, he only missed one, but that was when Tannehill was still quarterbacking. That's way back in 2016 is the last time I think he missed a game. So center exchange, cold weather, hope they probably take a little extra time in the warm-ups to go through it.
Yeah, but to me that's sort of like the even with the guys that they have that are not playing, I think your center not being there is the one that's critical, the most critical to this team. The center and not having your place kicker, your field goal kicker. But you just hope you get your field goal kicker back in enough time toward the latter part of the season because you're going to need him. But right now, I think not having Ben Jones on an offensive line that's already struggling, that is huge. And then the quarterback center exchange, that is huge. We saw what happened to Buffalo. I know they had their center, but some people blame it on the elbow of Josh Allen. So if there's any, if there's anything that's going to impede that quarterback center exchange, you got to be very, very cognizant of it. Whether it's a new center or whether in Josh Allen's case, his elbow was hurt. That affects the game. It affected the game for the Buffalo Bills.
The Broncos had to change centers in the game last
Sunday.
It
was bad.
That guy was struggling.
Yeah, he struggled. And you saw it. You saw it. The world saw it, how bad he struggled. So you just hope that isn't the case for the Tennessee Titans tonight.
Yeah, and at least you would figure they've been practicing with the idea that Ben Jones wasn't going to play for the last 3 days. All right, Nick, our listeners have come through. They have picked us up They have answered the question. We have news for those that don't have the Fire Stick.
All
right, Nick, tell us what's going on.
Oh, my goodness. I received
you got flooded.
4 telephone calls saying the game is on Channel 5. The Titans are playing on Channel 5 tonight.
So it's what I thought, that when your local team is in action, the game is provided on free TV. Yeah, on local channel.
Well,
so
that's
it's on Channel 5. Okay, good. So now you just need to do the old – do people still do picture-in-picture?
Do they have picture-in-picture still? I don't know. Because if I do have it, I don't use it.
So you just have to have that previous channel button, Bally on one station, Channel 5 on the other for the Titans. So Preds Titans going on. At least there will be some overlap in the game. I think the Preds game will be over before the Titans game. But Channel 5 tonight. Okay, when we come back, it'll be underdog time. And so I will tell you about Lee Company, big sponsor of our Nashville Predators coverage, which starts tonight at 6 o'clock. Max Hers will be handling the pregame duties. 615-567-1000 for Lee Company. They're all over it when it comes to when the weather gets cold. We were just talking about cold weather. Make sure your heating unit is working properly. And if it's not, keep that phone number ready to go, or you can even make an online appointment by going to leecompany.com. They have all kinds of great services as well. They'll service your heating unit, plumbing system, electrical system, and, of course, your air conditioning unit when the weather starts getting warmer. So keep that number top of mind, 615-567-1000, or go to leecompany.com. Underdogs coming up.
You watch the game.
Sliding across, making the stop, UC Cerro.
We talk the game.
That wraparound goal by Sanford was a beaut. Tanner Janot, Ryan Johansson gets on the board.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Signs First, Nashville's foremost destination for event signage and physical media. Located just minutes from Broadway, our team of design, production, and installation professionals can help you create an unforgettable event. Stand out. Be different. Go to sfnash.com.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
312 Pizza Company is the official sponsor and location of Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game set.
Checker flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
It's game day in Smashville.
He scored!
Predators game day is presented by Social Furniture, located at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Shop local, shop social.
His shot stopped and the rebound stopped too.
Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
And welcome back to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. It is time for the Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. Willy Donick here with you. Chase McCabe, suit duties. He has stepped out. So I'm guessing now that Nick is going to have to make the pick for Chase.
Yes, I think he
Nick,
or
are you
Carolina.
prepared for this?
I am ready.
Oh,
You're prepared.
so you're
very
picking.
good. Okay, good.
We have a little announcement here early on.
We have an announcement?
Yes. As I was running out the house this morning, and literally I was running out the house, I left my scroll at home. My scroll has those important numbers in it.
The official records.
Yeah, the official records of the Underdog's pick. We know who won, but the point spread, we don't know. I have it, so guys, don't sit here and say, no, it was an 8-point spread. It was this. No, I have the numbers, okay? I have them, guys. Sure. I just don't have them on hand.
Sure you do.
I just don't have them on hand right now.
I was going to start the show by asking one George Plaster. Let's start with George because I know I feel like he's going to be a straight shooter. Kelly is going to be negative and bitter no matter what. But I was just going to – I missed the show last week. We had the rookie in there, Caroline Fenton, doing her best. Derek stepped up. I saw that he wrote everything down. So I know that the records exist.
Exactly.
But, Plas, how would you say the drill was conducted last week in my absence?
I thought Derek did all right. He really did. Now, what is going on today is inexcusable. I mean, this cannot happen. So
I take full responsibility, Plas.
I'm just going to tell you what my record is. I'm 8-4 with 143 points.
So that means you picked up about 96
exactly.
last week.
I took Mars plus 94.
All right, now let's in equal time. Let's just get Kelly Holcomb's opinion on how things were conducted last week in my absence, Kelly.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it because you were gone and then Chase left too, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, but this whole thing with Derek this morning has turned into a straight crap show, and
Hey, listen, Kelly.
It wouldn't bother me if you just came in like for 2 or 3 minutes, Willie, and then left altogether.
Absolutely.
That wouldn't bother me. And then Chase has showed his true colors too, and now Derek is irresponsible. So I don't know what
But see, I know Chris Sanders will have my back because I've had his back so many times this year.
Man, you did, man.
But so Chris, how did it go last week?
Hey, they did really good, man. We really don't want you back. I mean, they're like, Willie's on here. We don't even need your theme song anymore. We just need you back in Carolina. That's all we need.
All right. On that note, well, we're going to get Derek Scrolls back, so we're going to have to do a little arithmetic here on the fly to get the updated standings. But the show must go on, as they say. So let's go ahead and review last week. So, hit it, Nick. Despite the rumblings of the panel, this is your commissioner speaking. Glad to be back. Let's give you the Silly Underdog Picks 2022, Week 11. It was a great competition online as usual. The winner, Matt Pearson from Lebanon, Tennessee, 41 points, got the W. So congratulations to Matt. He'll win the prize. You can play every week by going to thegamenashville.com. The most popular pick amongst our listeners last week, there were two that stood out above the rest. It was Ole Miss against Alabama. That one, Ole Miss was right in there for a while, but fell short. Alabama pulled it out. And TCU over Texas, 31% had that as one of their three picks. So our listeners were right on it, going 1-1 in that. So on to the panel. Here's what we had. Chris Sanders had the first pick. Now, I didn't hear the replay, but Derek, you thought this was a controversial pick. Chris Sanders took West Virginia against Oklahoma, but you said something about it. I didn't hear it, but
Chris couldn't find the game he wanted and just stumbled on that one.
That's exactly what happened.
That wasn't originally the game he wanted. He picked it, but that wasn't the game he wanted to pick.
Hey, why you tell my secrets, man?
Hey, man, you just pulled it out of your back pocket. You was like, oh, I forgot I had an extra $1. Here you go.
That's exactly what. That's his game plan. It's true.
We knew one person would be upset. No, we knew one person, and one person only would be upset, and that was Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
And Kelly's upset.
Hey, wait till you hear my theme
song.
It's for
things,
him.
Man, it's just this year. I mean, let's just throw a dart up there and see if it sticks. Hey, I don't even know who's playing. Just give me somebody. They win.
so he stumbles upon. So this is the definition of falling out of a tree and landing on your feet.
Exactly.
He took West Virginia over Oklahoma, an 8-point dog, and West Virginia wins 23-20. So Chris picks up 8 more points after Derek had cut the lead a little bit with a big win the week before. So we'll get to him in a moment. The next pick went to Chase McCabe. That was Caroline made the pick. Tulsa was a dog against Memphis, but Memphis got the win 26-10. So no dice there. Then it came to Kelly. He went with TCU. An underdog against Texas. I believe it was 7, but I don't know what the official. Do you remember, Kelly? Was it exactly 7?
Because ask Kelly. Don't ask
Derek
Kelly.
Forgot the scrolls.
No, it was actually 16.
You think it was 16? I thought I knew I could get a straight answer from you, Kelly. Okay, so Kelly picks up 16.
No,
I think it was 7.
No,
it was actually 7.
It was 7 points.
It was 7 points for Kelly. All right, a good win for TCU. They stay undefeated on the season. Then Plaz, he took Ole Miss against Alabama. Plaz, you were right there. Lane Kiffin had them going. They had the lead early. They even had chances late. Alabama just a little too much.
Hey, screw that. I took Vandy.
Derek, is that what your scrolls are going to say?
No, my scrolls does not say that.
You guys got to see this pad of paper that he writes this stuff down on. You think my stuff is primitive? Plaz, you've watched me write this stuff down for years. Derek has got a scribble on paper that looks like it came from the ancient Egyptians.
Hey, man. That's how I roll.
Can I ask one other Willie, can I ask one other thing?
Oh, yes.
Where the hell is Chase?
Hey, he got suit duties, man.
Suit duties. 2 weeks in a row. Unbelievable.
I mean, either get in or get out.
You're questioning his commitment. Is that what we're saying here?
I'm questioning commitment. I mean, the only reason I would let him stay is because he's a Braves fan.
Yep, and that usually helps in your book. That gives you some benefit of the doubt.
Oh, it gives you leeway.
All right, now here's an honest question. D-Mase had the 5th pick. He took Purdue over Illinois. Purdue got the win, 31-24. Illinois, their season has gone south after an excellent start. But here's the question, D-Mase. Do you remember what you wrote down on the scrolls?
It was 6.5. It was a 6.5 point
Can anybody verify this?
He said it was 3. No, it was. I think it was 6.5.
I'll verify it.
6.5. So Derek stepping up, picking up another win. Derek, you've been hot, man. You're
I'm on a heater, man. I'm on a heater.
Trying to close the gap on
Chris. I'm trying to.
I can't get my pro teams to win. That's the problem.
Well, speaking of the pros, D-Mase had the Seahawks in Munich against the Bucks, and they made a run late but fell short.
Mm-hmm.
Plaz had Carolina over Atlanta in a crazy weather game, and Carolina ran the heck out of the ball and won. So I've got 2.5 on that, Plaz. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I have 8.5.
I figured you
so it's 2.5.
Wrong guy to ask. 2.5 for Plaz. Kelly had, he had the Cardinals over the Rams. Both teams playing the backup quarterback. Was this only 1.5 points? That's what's written down here.
Yeah.
Kelly, what are you taking a 1.5 point dog for?
I mean, it's the pros. Like, the
you don't
ones
see
that
big-
are like outrageous, they're not going to win. So, like, I'm just trying to get a win. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. I mean, I'm rooting for Derek to catch Chris. That's all I'm doing.
So you're leaving the big picks to Derek. Okay. Chase had, through Caroline, had the Vikings over the Bills. What a game that was. An amazing game. And so the Vikings did pull the upset. So 3.5 points for the suit in absence. Commitment being questioned by the panel. And finally, it was Chris taking the Colts over the Raiders. Jeff Saturday. So Chris goes 2-0. The Colts pulled off the win.
How does this happen?
Hey, just spread love, man. That's all.
All right, so that's your recap. When we come back, we'll give you the standings going into Week 12 of the competition. And we do know this. It'll be Plaz with the first pick, Kelly second, Chase third. Nick will be picking for Chase. And then Chris fourth. D-Mase has the back-to-back picks this week, the wraparound picks.
Ooh.
All right, it's Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. We got through that better than I thought they would. Now if I could do some quick math, we'll actually have the standings up to date. Stay tuned. Picks for Week 12 coming up next here on 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 2:45.
Sanders for the touchdown, 48 yards.
Former NFL wide receiver Chris Sanders joins Stillman and Company to give his thoughts on all things Titans and NFL. Fueled by Parman Energy, now hiring fuel drivers. Apply now at ParmanEnergy.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Calling all sweet toots, head to Nashville Toffee Company, a place where rich chocolatey daydreams are created from a secret family recipe generations in the making. Their toffees and candies are handcrafted in Nashville using all natural kosher certified ingredients. Sweet creamery, butter, pure cane sugar, premium roasted nuts, deep rich chocolate, and sea salt. Visit NashvilleToffeeCompany.com or drop by their headquarters on Air Lane Drive for a positively hassle-free shopping experience. Whether you are buying for 1 or 100, Nashville Toffee Company is here to make your holiday gift giving easy.
It's Quaz with Little Harvest, and I'm just having one of our Chicken Scratch American Pilsners. It's one refreshing beer and a good example of the German lagers that we craft right here in Nashville. Chicken Scratch is made with locally sourced raw white corn, giving it a subtle cornbready sweetness. And speaking of sweetness, Chicken Scratch's closest associate goes by the name of Deer Crossing Hellas, also a lager with a light crisp body and golden color, and it won us a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. So be on the lookout for our craft loggers. And as always, thank you for supporting our little brewery.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Start NFL Week 11 off with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. And a same-game parlay is the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout. I'm going to go, I think the passing total is going to be low for Tannehill. I'm going to say over passing for Tannehill and over passing for Aaron Rodgers as well. Build your own or choose from one of the popular SGPs pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play it, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with the promo code JGM if you don't already have an account. If you already have a FanDuel account, you're all set. Just sign up to see what you've got. And make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs. Minimum $1 bet required. Refund issues, non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Genesis Diamond's biggest and last sale of the year is here this weekend. It's an extraordinary event with savings up to 35% store-wide. Nothing's held back for this once-a-year 3-day store-wide event. Acclaimed designers are here with expanded collections and special pricing. Plus, get 0% interest financing. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also included. It's this Friday, Saturday, and yes, even open Sunday for this incredible event. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
When it comes to procuring my adult beverages for the big games, I saddle up and head to Red Spirits and Wine. Red's titanic selection of beer, wine, distilled spirits, and cigars is second to none. And Red's Crackerjack crew always delivers a winning combination of service and value. There's no two ways about it. Red is top of the range. Open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South in Bellevue. And check us out at redspirits.com.
Hiller is giving away cash for the holidays, and we are celebrating from now until the end of the year with special deals. Hiller wants to make sure every child experiences the joy of Christmas this year, so they're donating $50 in toys to Toys for Tots with every tankless water heater purchase, and giving away a $250 Visa gift card with each unit. Get a $500 Visa gift card when you buy select new HVAC systems, or a $500 Visa gift card with the purchase of any new whole home generator. More details at happyhiller.com. As always, happy you'll be, or the service is free, and these deals are only available until the end of the year. So that's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Call the Happy Face Truck today.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way. I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
It is time for Silly Underdog Picks, week number 12 of the competition. It's time to make the picks. Here are the standings after 11 weeks. Chris Sanders with 2 more wins, 97 points in the lead over D-Mase, who now has 75.5. Right now it is Plaz in a tough race for third. Right now edging out Chase and Kelly, 45.5. Kelly with 44, Chase with 43.5. So, here we go for week number 12. The first pick this week goes to Chase McCabe, who has suit duty. So, the rookie, Nick Keyser, will be making the pick.
All right, guys. I don't know if you recognize that song whatsoever. Doesn't matter. I don't care. But I'm going to take my alumnus. I'm going to take him, guys. WKU. Going down to Auburn. I think they got him. I know they're 5.5-point dogs, but look, I think just to make my debut, I'm going to go with the squad that has persevered most of the season, I would say, and they're going into an SEC school I think they can beat.
So did you get any input from Chase on this, or did fully delegation to you on this? Western Kentucky 7-4, a 5.5-point dog on the road at Auburn.
Oh.
Yes, I did have a consultation with Chase prior to his departure.
Okay, so he gave you the blessing.
Yes.
To go for that.
100%.
All right, so going with the Hilltoppers. All right, we move on to Kelly Holcomb for pick number 2.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
I'm fired up. Tighten up.
Well, like I said last week, I told Caroline while she was doing Chase's pick, and now we've got everybody doing Chase's pick. I think if Chase does not show up, he needs to get whoever's playing Ohio State pick. That's my suggestion. Or the biggest, which, Chris always wins, but the biggest margin, I think that's who Chase ought to get. That's just my opinion. But there's some Big 12 games this week that I like. There's a bunch of them. But I think I'm going to take I'm going to go back to the well of what Chris did last week, and I'm going to say that West Virginia beats Kansas State.
Ooh, West Virginia, who got the big win against Oklahoma last week. They're a 7.5-point home dog taking on Kansas State, who still has a shot to play in the Big 12 championship game against presumably TCU. So that could be an interesting one there. Could they stumble in West Virginia? We shall see. All right, we move on. George Placer with the third pick.
Hey, Willie.
Yes.
Kansas is a football school. Take them.
There you go.
Rock chalk. The Kansas Jayhawks are a 9-point home dog against Texas. Texas, of course,
You want to know
beat.
why I'm going there?
Why?
The Texas quarterback is badly overrated and needs a haircut.
Well, his days could be numbered because Mr. Arch Manning will be coming in there soon enough, right, at some point.
George, you don't like the mullet he's got, dude? You don't like that?
Not particularly, Kelly.
Kelly, did you ever have the mullet?
I did not. No, I didn't do the mullet.
Oh, man, Kelly, I thought you would be a prime candidate for the mullet. That was your era. That was, in high school, you never had the mullet?
He did. Yeah, no, I didn't have the mullet, man.
He had
I did
the
not
mullet.
let that grow out like that.
He had the mullet. Kelly had the mullet.
I did not have the mullet. I promise. I did not have the mullet. Couldn't do it.
If you had the mullet, Kelly, would you admit it?
Probably be different. Well, if I had to go back and do it now, I'd probably do it just for show, you know. But a little different personality now than I was in high school.
Business up top, party in the back. That's Kelly.
That's
All right.
right.
We go on to D-Mase for the 4th pick.
All right. I am going with one William Donnick's alma mater.
Uh-oh.
I am
Watch out.
going with Vandy over Florida.
Woo! Wow. I'd love to see that.
I think last week that was a big game for them, and I think they're riding on that emotional high. I think they're ready. And you just don't know what Florida team's going to show up. You don't know what their quarterback's going to do or what he's not going to do. So I'm picking Vandy.
Vanderbilt is a 14-point home dog in the 11 a.m. game, hosting Florida at 6-4. Plaz, what do you think? The other Commodore on the panel here.
Well, I didn't take him, did I?
You did pass. You did pass on that. Okay. So
I can understand why Plaz didn't take him. That's more of a heart pick.
I feel better
Yeah,
about
that's
it now
a
that
hard
D-Mase took him. You are in second place. All right, let's see what Chris Sanders has.
Let's
He
go.
is the leader right now in the competition.
I love you, you love me. We're best friends like friendship.
Sounds like Mr. Sanders has switched up his.
Absolutely, I love everybody.
What happened to Lionel Richie?
I'm glad somebody didn't take this pick because it is just sitting there waiting to take UConn over Army. Let's go.
Why did you go away
Let's
from
go.
Lionel Richie, though? Why change the winning game, Chris, at 97 points?
I got. Yeah, I'm gonna when I win next week, all these points, and I'm gonna put little Lonnie on there.
He called him Little Lonnie.
I mean Lionel Richie, whatever that means. Hey, it's one of them cats.
Oh, boy. All right, so I'm trying to find this. Let's make sure I've got this right. Army?
15.
Is it 15?
Yes. There's no way. Is it? It's 15. I'm just calling what I see. I knew somebody would take that game. I figured he'd be the one to take that game. Yeah, 15.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
16 yesterday.
All right.
Well,
I'm still not finding it, but so I will take your word for it. Army. Why can't I find this game?
See?
Who are they playing?
UConn.
UConn's playing Army.
It's tackle football.
Tackle
Willie.
football.
It's not flagged.
All right, I'll get that down. Army and UConn.
It's 10.
Oh.
Oh. My bad. I'm sorry.
So now wait a minute. Hold on a second. So you said it was 15.
Yeah, it was Tuesday. It was 15.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, Tuesday. Well, today's Thursday.
Oh,
Tuesday's prices aren't today's prices, okay?
It does appear to be 10. I have now finally found it at the Michie Stadium at West Point. 10-point dog. Army 3-6 taking on UConn, who's actually played quite a bit better here lately. Okay, moving on to the pros. Chris, get us started.
Yes, sir. I'm going with the Colts over Philly.
Why not? Jeff Saturday on a Sunday trying to go to 2-0.
That's 19 points.
You think they can beat Philly? That would be interesting. Could it be 2 losses in a row? And if that happens, the Colts could get back in the division race, possibly.
That's what I'm saying.
So, Colts officially 7-point home dogs against the Eagles coming off that Monday night loss. All right, that brings us to D-Mase for his pick.
Give me the boats. Taking the Chargers.
The Chargers.
They plus
tough
6.
loss. A 6-point dog hosting the Chiefs. We move to Plaz.
Tighten up.
Going tonight. The Titans are a 3-point dog taking on the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. Titans plus 3. Kelly Holcomb, pro pick.
I'll take the Bears over the Falcons.
The Bears, with Justin Fields starting to put up numbers. 3-point dogs on the road against the Falcons at 4-6.
I'm surprised nobody picked the Broncos.
Well, they're still on the board. So now Nick Keyser will have the final pick for Chase.
Yeah, you know what? The first time I ever get a pick, someone steals mine right in front of me. So I guess that's really how it works. Now I know how it feels.
Sorry.
But, hey, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm quite fine with that. You know, I think I'm going to go with – I'm looking here because I had to remake my pick here. Oh, man. Let's do I'm going to do the Steelers, Willie.
Okay. The Steelers playing the Bengals.
They beat them first game of the season.
Steelers are a 3.5-point home dog against the Bengals. That was a crazy game on opening day. All right, let's do a quick review of our picks. Chase McCabe through Nick Keyser. Suit duty, second week in a row absence, and he is on notice from the panel. Cannot have a third straight absence or else there could be some serious sanctions. Western Kentucky, 5.5-point dogs at Auburn. Kelly Holcomb, behind in the competition, rooting for Derek Mason, making no secret of it, but still playing for third place, taking West Virginia, a 7.5-point home dog against Kansas State. Plaz, right now, in third place, trying to hang on. He'll go with the Kansas Jayhawks, a 9-point home dog against the Texas Longhorns. D-Mase trying to move up from second place, still chasing Chris Sanders. He'll go with the Commodores down the road at West End, a 14-point dog against the Florida Gators. Then Chris Sanders, leader in the competition, 97 points, takes Army. 10-point dog hosting UConn up at West Point. Chris comes back in the pros, goes with the Colts. They were lucky for him last week. He'll go with the Horseshoe, 7-point dogs against the Eagles this week. D-Mase goes with the Chargers. 6-point dogs playing at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Plaz goes with the Titans tonight, a 3-point dog at Lambeau against the Packers. Kelly Holcomb takes the Bears, 3-point dogs in Atlanta against the Falcons. And then finally, Chase McCabe through Nick, 3.5-point dogs, Steelers, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Remember, you can play our competition by going online at thegamenashville.com. Make your 3 picks, college or pro, any combination. Just make them before kickoff on Saturday. Those are our picks for week number 12. Gentlemen, good luck.
Willie, thank you.
Oh, wow. It must be getting close to Thanksgiving or something. A really nice.
No. Let's hear what Kelly got to say. What you got to say, Kelly?
Save it, Willie. Nobody cares.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, we've got a little early arrival for Elliot Friedman. He's got to move up today, so that's coming up in the next segment. So we'll switch gears, talk NHL with the best that there is. Elliot Friedman next here on 102.5 The Game.
Tonight.
Let's go Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Titans hit the road in prime time against the Green Bay Packers.
Bring it on, Chop. Let's go.
Join Caroline Fenton.
I want to look at the offense.
Derek Mason.
Just play your assignment and go get the ball.
And Chris Sanders live from Twin Peaks.
Sometimes you got to have a chance to get the results that you want.
For NFL pregame, a Nashville's best Titans talk.
That's a really impressive feat by the defense.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Ford South. I don't know about you guys, but I love this time of year. I get to see all the beautiful fall colors, the fantastic weather. We're getting deeper into football season. It's just a reminder that we have so much to be thankful for. And while the automotive industry has been a bit of a roller coaster, we are still so thankful to serve the local community. We love being able to partner with local schools and organizations. We're also so thankful that we've earned business not only from our local communities, but from places all across the United States. The response from customers far and wide is, "This was so amazing. I've never had a car buying experience like this." Check out our reviews online to see for yourself. So no matter if you're in the market for a new car, looking to sell your car, or even service your car, come find out why Newton is different. Change your experience. Come see us in store or visit us online at newtonfordsouth.com.
Hal Gill here for my friends at Dunkin'. Everyone celebrates the holidays in their own special way, but you go twice as hard as everyone else. So does Dunkin', which is why they've created 2 espresso-rich holiday signature lattes. The minty, cocoa-dusted peppermint mocha and creamy cinnamon sugary toasted white chocolate lattes are handcrafted with bold espresso and topped with whipped cream to help you do the most this year. So swing by the newly remodeled Dunkin' on Bradley Parkway in Nashville or the new Dunkin' in Mount Juliet and grab one today on the double.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, Trey Wingo here. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Nick Keyser, one of the more unlikely guys to go to a deep cut from the Top Gun soundtrack, but I like it. Well done. It's time to talk hockey with Elliot Friedman. He joins us here on the show a little earlier than normal, adjusting to his schedule a little bit here. Willy Donick, Derek Mason here with you from Barrel House at Bridgestone Arena. Predators and the New York Islanders tonight. Elliot, good to talk to you.
Well, thanks very much I wanted to say thank you very much for going around my schedule. I don't like to bounce around yours, but this one couldn't be avoided, so I do appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Now, that's no problem, Elliot, at all, but I got to know, I'm guessing, since you and I are close to the same age, it could be possible. Did you have the Top Gun soundtrack back in the day?
Oh, absolutely I did. Absolutely I did. First of all, like all those songs, huge parts of my childhood. I wasn't as crazy about the Take My Breath Away song by Berlin, but I believe that year I was not a senior in high school then, but at the prom, I believe that was the last song, like the final dance song was Take My Breath Away. So even though I wasn't the biggest fan of that particular song, it brought back great memories. I took my son to see the new Top Gun movie this time, and when the Danger Zone song came on, like right at the beginning, I was like, "Wow, this brings back so much." And my son looked at me like I had 3 heads, but I had a good time.
That's right. I think all of us from that age, I think they did that movie right, for sure. D-Mase, I know you saw that one, right?
Oh, of course, yes.
Had to go see that one.
Had to see that one.
Well, Elliot, let's start off with this. I know the GM meetings took place earlier this week. One of the things that came up, and I heard you and Jeff Merrick kicking it around, is the offside challenge. Now, in my mind, I just don't see a better way, especially now that they've streamlined it. It's much easier. It seems like when you see that challenge for an offside now, if your team has scored the goal, you're saying, uh-oh, it's coming back, because they know so well now whether it is or is not. So I know that there was a really exciting goal that was wiped out the other day, but I just don't know that there's a better way to do it. Do you agree?
I do agree with you on that. First of all, the reason that was moderately controversial, and you're talking about Trevor Zegras in Anaheim, he scored a beautiful, incredible lacrosse-style goal that was wiped out by an offside review, is because the offside occurred, I believe it was 29 seconds before the goal was scored, something like that. And when they first went to this challenge, Willie, one of the things that they talked about was, how long should it last? Like, there were some GMs who were former players who felt that, look, if someone got into your zone and they were offside, but you didn't clear the puck in 15 seconds, that's your own fault. They said there's no way you should, for example, you should get the reward of a missed call if you can't get the puck out of your own zone. And there were some people who did feel that way. But the league felt very strongly that if it was offside, the whole play was tainted, and they made it very clear if the rule was coming in, that was going to be the way it was. And what I think it comes down to is, how do you want the Stanley Cup awarded? Would you ever want the Stanley Cup awarded on a goal like that? And the answer was no. And I think they had some conversations about it this time. I just think, guys, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to change that rule.
So the Islanders are in town here tonight. There's a lot of history, of course, with Lane Lambert was once an assistant coach for Barry Trotz with the Predators. And, of course, he followed Barry Trotz to Washington, then to New York. Now he's got the job. And the Islanders are playing really well right now. They've won 9 out of 11. How are they doing it?
Well, for one thing, they've got one of the best goalies in the league, and he's not a household name yet. I don't know who's playing tonight. I didn't check and see for the Islanders if it's Sorokin or Varlamov. But Ilya Sorokin, who's their starter, he's one of the best young goalies in the league, and he'll win a Vezina Trophy by the time his career is done. So, that's one thing. They have a great young goalie who's having a really good year. The other thing, too, is, the Islanders rarely beat themselves. They have a way they play. They stick to that. Derek, you would compare that to a good system football team, like a team that has a way they're supposed to play, and everybody commits to that. I think the Islanders are very much like that, particularly defensively. One of the things that a couple of teams have told me is that their defensemen shoot the puck a bit more. I know there were some teams who felt last year that you didn't have to worry too much about some of their defensemen. They have a really good young one in Noah Dobson who had 51 points last year, but they felt generally that a lot of their other D, never really shot the puck too much or were threats to score. And I think the Islanders have tried to at least open that up with their offense a bit, putting the puck in some of their sticks, trying to at least create the impression that some of those guys can be a bit more dangerous, and I think it's opened up their offense a little bit. They've got a guy there, Matthew Barzal. He hasn't scored yet, but he's got the most assists in the league without a goal, and he's a really talented guy. And if I was worried about one thing for Nashville is when that guy scores, there's going to be a couple of them at once, and you don't want it to be against you.
Yeah, I hope it happens next week for sure. But, yeah, that is an odd – I know your man Jeff Merrick would be all over this, and I had some people doing some research on this. Apparently it's the most assists by a forward without scoring a goal in 17 games ever. That's crazy. 18 assists without a goal.
And first of all, I should say, Nick, the producer, did a great job sending me the note that Sorokin was the first goalie off, so it looks like it's Sorokin tonight against you guys, okay? So it's good to see that. It's nice to have a producer who actually listens to what's happening on the air. We don't get that in Toronto. But that is like, as you guys know, we joke about it in hockey. It's called the Cy Young. Like, there was a guy, Brandon Peary, a few years ago for the Florida Panthers. I think he had 22 goals and 4 assists. So we were joking that he won the Cy Young Award because it was 20. Like, this is the reverse Cy Young. You don't win the Cy Young if you're 0-18. That's for sure. Very strange stat. He's a hell of a player, though. Really good player.
Now, over the last 2 games, Elliot, we've seen UC sort of come back into form. He's allowed 2 goals in 2 games. And it's crazy to say Because at the beginning of the season, you're thinking, okay, if he's only allowed 2 goals in 2 games, that's just typical UC. But we've seen what he has done in the first, early part of the season. He wasn't playing as well, but it seems like now he's sort of picking up his game a little bit. What do you see from him, and do you think this is more than just a 2-game sample? You think this is how he's going to be from here on out?
Well, I hope so, number one. And number two, I tend to believe that players get back to who they really are. And we all know that UC Saros is a really good goalie, one of the better ones in the league. And I think the UC Saros we've seen recently is more true to who he is than the UC Saros we saw at the beginning of the league, at the beginning of the season. So I would just say that I would tend to believe he would get back there. I would tend to believe that this is who he is, and I hope it continues. I think one of the things that I've seen, like in your game the other night, who were some of your best players? Who produced? Matt Duchene had 2 points. Ryan Johansson had 2 points. Like tonight in Toronto, the Devils are here. They're number 1 in the league. They've won 10 games in a row. I'm working that game tonight. And if you ask anybody, why one of the reasons the Devils have won, it's because they always have the puck. You're chasing them. They're not chasing you. They've gotten a lot better at defending in the neutral zone. It's much harder to get in their zone than it was in years past. And as a result, they have the puck a lot. And, you don't score when you don't have the puck. And what I saw the other night against Minnesota was I saw 2 of your best offensive players producing, leading the way offensively. And I think everybody's going to look better when guys like Johansson and Duchene are picking up 2 points a night in a tight game.
Looking at the Central, Elliot, you've got the Winnipeg Jets, who before the season, they kind of like the Islanders, not a whole lot of changes, and the season didn't go great last year, so nobody was really talking about them. But, man, they're playing some really good hockey right now.
Yeah, they look really good. They have changed the way they play. One of my broadcast partners, Kevin Bieksa, the guy who got beaten up in Nashville, as you guys reminded him about a year ago.
Yes, we tried to remind him. He defended himself pretty well, I have to say.
Oh, yeah. Kevin, tell Kevin he lost the fight. Like, it's impossible. Like, he'll just never accept it. But he showed – we had them last Saturday night against Calgary, and even though they lost the game, he showed some video of just, like, things they've done to commit to playing better team defense. I think Winnipeg was a team that was really loose last year. Rick Bowness, who's their new head coach, he's really good. He made his mark as an assistant coach in the NHL, teaching defensemen to play better individual and teams to defend better as a group. And it's very noticeable with Winnipeg right away. Like there's just more people in. They always seem to have a third forward high in the offensive zone. And as a result, it's very difficult to get odd man rushes against them. The other thing someone told me is one of the players said, it's like playing for your grandfather. He doesn't yell at you, but when he's disappointed in you, he gives you that look that makes you feel crushingly bad. And I just think that that's his approach. He demands accountability from the way you play, but he's not really a screamer or anything like that. But you just know when you've let him down. And look, I think the Islanders wanted to make a ton of changes too. They didn't. I have to tell you guys, there's a lot of situations this year in the league. Vegas is one. Bruce Cassidy, it was clear his voice had gone flat in Boston. He goes to Vegas. Look how much they've improved. Peter DeBoer, it was clear his voice had gone stale in Vegas. He goes to Dallas. Look at how they've improved. Rick Bowness, his voice went stale in Dallas. He goes to Winnipeg. Look how much they've improved. Like, I have this theory now. I remember Larry Bird, he quit as coach of the Indiana Pacers after 3 years. And the players said, no, we want you to stay. And he's like, nope, 3 years, that's the limit. That's when a coach starts to go stale. And I've thought about that a lot this year. And I just think that sometimes if you're not going to change your group, if your player core is going to stay the same, I think it's really hard. Like, that's why it amazes me how long Trotz stayed in Nashville. It amazes me what John Cooper is doing in Tampa. Like, I really think that some of these guys, they just need a change in the way they're told to do something or asked to do something. And we're seeing it in several places in the league right now.
It is pretty interesting to see right now. Elliot, thanks a lot for joining us as always, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, take good care. Have a great weekend.
Yep,
All right. Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, 32 Thoughts, the podcast, the blog. It is must-read stuff. Excellent. Let's go to the break, and we will tell you about Loan Pronto. When we come back, D-Mase and I will give you a couple more tidbits on tonight's Predators game. We'll also look at Titans and Packers and look ahead to the 1 o'clock hour. Okay, Loan Pronto, new Express Equity line of credit program. That's what you need right now before the holidays. So if you don't have to do a full home refi right now, you can tap a small portion of the equity you have in your house and enjoy a super low rate. And you can do that by keeping the low mortgage rate you have currently. You don't have to do a full refi. You can do the Express Equity credit line, close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan, for example, would only cost you $300 a month. So use that money now to pay off whatever bills you've got, credit card bills, holiday shopping, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity right now. 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need an appraisal. So give them a call, 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Every Wednesday at noon.
No matter the down and distance and no matter the score, they're going to give him the football.
Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton joins Chase, Willy, and D-Mase to talk all things Titans and NFL.
I hope that they're not throwing flags simply because the league wants to see more of them.
He's got opinions and insights on the two-tone blue.
They are not as good at wide receiver and the playmaking department.
Catch Hutton every Wednesday at noon. Presented by Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars and by Edley's Barbecue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. No code red weather ahead of us here. A very easy weather pattern, but a very cool one as well. High temperatures this afternoon taking us into the upper 30s and low 40s, and we'll stay in that territory until we get into the upcoming weekend.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
It's Week 11, folks. NFL season. You can start off right with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Doesn't matter if you're new or if you have an account. You're going to get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. Same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. This one is the big one. Titans at Packers, of heavy local interest here. I think A.J. Dillon, anytime TD, might be something I'd do on a parlay. I think I'd go under on the Aaron Rodgers passing yards, and I think I'd go Derrick Henry with anytime TD too. I think it's going to be one of those run-the-ball, play defense kind of games in Lambeau. Build your own, or you can choose one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, bet it Thursday with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Sign up with promo code JONA2 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. See what you got. Every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs, minimum dollar bet required. Refund issues now double free bets. Expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
When joint pains cause you to sit out on everyday activities, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Matthew Beal at Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Dr. Beal can diagnose your problem and treat the joint pain for both surgical and non-surgical matters. Board certified and fellowship trained, Dr. Beal specializes in hip, knee, joint replacement, and adult joint reconstruction. Visit tn.houston.com to learn more about Dr. Beal and to book an appointment online. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Preds fans, you coming out for tonight's big game? The pre-party action is at Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville, steps away from Bridgestone Arena. Enjoy great specials like $3 off any appetizer in the bar area and $20 bucket specials on Bud, Bud Light, Mick Ultra, and Landshark beer. A sports TV viewing mecca, the Landshark Bar and Grill is a Lower Broadway must-see. That's the Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on the corner of 4th Avenue and Broadway. Stop in before the Preds game tonight.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to move? If so, do yourself a favor and reach out to my friends at TriStar Moving. You can be assured your move will be stress-free because they've got new utility vans to help with pack jobs to separate your high-value or fragile items from the bulk of your furniture, and their movers are carefully picked and highly trained. No one in the game is doing this. TriStar Moving is raising the standard in the moving industry. When you're ready to move, give them a call. TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or online at nationalmoving.org/radio, and tell them Jared Stillman referred you for 10% off. That's TriStar Moving.
Ajax Turner Company, Middle Tennessee's Anheuser-Busch distributor, is hiring full-time warehouse order pickers, forklift drivers, merchandisers, delivery, and more. Pay rates have increased, and new hires will now be eligible for a $500 sign-on bonus. This is more than seasonal work. This is a career with year-round stability and promotional opportunities. Go to ajaxturner.com/careers to apply or call 615-280-3904 for further details about open positions. Please remember to drink responsibly.
Robbie Stanley.
They get a lead in that game and just totally close the door.
Joe Rexrode.
If he plays next year, it's disastrous.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Nick Keyser living in the 80s today with the music, and that's fine with me. That's right up my alley there.
Yeah,
you remember this one, little Phil Collins and Philip Bailey?
Nothing wrong with the 90s.
Oh, you're going 90s. Okay. That's no problem with that either.
80s, 90s, whatever. Yeah. I mean, music, I'm not going to say music has not gotten better. It has. I mean, it just depends on your taste. But, I mean, listen, music in the 80s and the 90s, man, God, it was great.
Yeah, but look,
at least to me,
all day during the break, I've been listening to Derek Mason just vibing to Whitney Houston.
Exactly.
All day long.
Whitney transcends everything, you know? Because today is the 30th year anniversary of the soundtrack Bodyguard.
Are you serious? Okay, so that's not bad. Not Whitney.
It's my rendition of Whitney.
It's not Whitney, but that's not bad.
It's not even close to Whitney.
It's been 30 years. Oh, my gosh. So we were just talking about the Top Gun soundtrack in the last segment with Elliot. 30 years for – now, you talk about a CD. Now, Top Gun was still the cassette tape, more so than the CD. That still was just before CDs, but early 90s.
Bodyguard was CD.
It was CD. Everybody had that CD. It was everywhere.
You wasn't that person if you didn't have it.
Yeah. You kind of had to
him
have
or her if you didn't have that CD.
Yeah.
So
now,
there you go.
What did you think of the movie?
I loved the movie.
Did you?
Oh, I loved Kevin Costner. Whitney Houston, come on,
mixed
man.
reviews a little bit on the movie.
I mean, you appreciated it more like years later. Like you probably didn't appreciate it that much then, even though it was a box office hit. But you appreciated it more when you had a chance to like sit down and watch it on cable or something. And it's like, oh, this was a really good movie. You know, so.
Well, I would not have guessed 30 years. But, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. I just had not thought about that. All right, this is going to be a short segment here. I want to get the call and text line going in the 1 o'clock hour because this is a big day. Look, we've got the Titans and the Predators playing on the same day. I cannot remember too many times that's happened. It's happened. Mm-hmm. In fact, and this is not a great memory, I remember last year watching the Bengals-Titans playoff game on the Jumbotron here before the Predators played.
Yeah, that day.
But I'm trying to think of how many times it's happened. It happens a couple times a season, I would say, when you get down to it. But this is a big night, both in prime time, going head to head. I know a lot of people have some thoughts about this one tonight because I'll tell you what, if the Titans can get this game and get to 7-3, wow, and then have a little extra rest. Mm-hmm. Man, hopefully get a few more bodies back. That would really be something. So we're going to get the text line going in the next hour for sure. From the text line, Brad in Clarksville. Yo, give Dolly Parton credit on I Will Always Love You. She is the songwriter.
Yeah, she is the
songwriter.
Yeah.
So that's
but that
Dolly Parton seems to have
– I mean, Dolly's probably written so many songs for so many people that you probably lose track. But that voice – that voice, there's no other voice, and there never will be any other voice. Now, Chase did say something. He said, because we were trying to figure out, like, whose voice would be like, that is just a voice that I don't think could be touched, Whitney's voice singing. Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
She had a tremendous voice.
She did.
Tremendous voice. So that was probably like one of the people. There were probably a couple other people that could sort of be
in that same ballpark.
Yeah, sort of close, not close, but in that ballpark with Whitney.
All right, here's a good text from Andrew. Andrew says, Titans win by 4, Preds lose by 4.
No, I don't want that to happen. I mean, I want the Titans to win, but I don't want the Predators to lose.
We got an Ask Derek, a little bonus Ask Derek that we do normally on Fridays. Derek, Tupac, Biggie, or Jay?
Oh, man, that's hard. That's like asking me to, pick between, my brothers. Like, yeah, it just all depends on what mood you're in.
Yeah,
they all give you different moods.
That's always the case with music.
Exactly. It just depends on what what's that mood for you at that particular time. I love Biggie. Definitely love Pac. Jay has just been a staple. And he's still doing it, even though he hadn't put out anything new. But you're talking about iconic people.
I mean, how can you go wrong?
Their realm.
You
In their realm of music, they're iconic people.
All right, so there's a little teaser of what we're going to do in the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to get some calls and texts going on a big night in Nashville sports. Predators, Islanders here where we are, and, of course, the Titans at Lambeau against the Packers. Stay tuned. We're coming back with the final hour of the show here on 102.5 The Game, 106.3, and the Game Nashville app.
You love the game.
Tennessee touchdown! Middle Tennessee gets the score.
We live the game.
Just work on the little things every day.
They think the coaches are just coaches.
We are.
We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome game 7.
What a stop made by UC Sarah.
The Game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture, Nashville's locally owned furniture store. They started their business with one customer and one sofa. The owners work in the store daily to ensure their customers get the best treatment possible. Social Furniture offers same-day delivery and installation. Good credit or bad credit, they finance interest-free. A huge in-stock inventory. And now for a limited time during their Black Friday sale, take an extra 20% off. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture. Why go anywhere else?
Calling all sweet tooths, head to Nashville Toffee Company, a place where rich chocolatey daydreams are created from a secret family recipe generations in the making. Their toffees and candies are handcrafted in Nashville using all natural kosher certified ingredients. Sweet creamery, butter, pure cane sugar, premium roasted nuts, deep rich chocolate, and sea salt. Visit NashvilleToffeeCompany.com or drop by their headquarters on Air Lane Drive for a positively hassle-free shopping experience. Whether you are buying for 1 or 100, Nashville Toffee Company is here to make your holiday gift giving easy.
312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Nashville. 312 Pizza Company only uses the best all-natural ingredients and makes everything in-house from scratch every single day. And trust me, you can taste the difference. They've got deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, their Italian beef. You'll taste the freshness. Stop in for a pint of local beer and a slice of pizza, or order online at 312pizzaco.com. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
OrderGreen.com. You know them by now. They're my only choice for high-quality THC and CBD products, and they're delivered right to my doorstep. Hey, folks, Joe Rexrode here. Yes, you heard that right. OrderGreen.com will send cannabis products right to you with discreet same-day shipping. OrderGreen.com has been great for me. Just what I need during this busy time of year. Takes the edge off physically, mentally. Terrific products, and if you use promo code Joe20, you're going to get 20% off your first purchase at OrderGreen.com. Do you have a subscription to OrderGreen.com? It'd be a lot cooler if you did. You won't be able to tell if you're in Colorado or Tennessee. Trust me, that's OrderGreen.com.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. Tonight, your Nashville Predators take on the New York Islanders at Bridgestone Arena. Coverage begins at 6 on your home for Smashville. WPRT-FM Pegram, WBUC HD2 Laverne, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3.
This is your drive to the playoffs update, presented by Coleman Tractor, Tennessee's largest Kubota dealer, on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's game day for the Tennessee Titans, and Mike Vrabel has already ruled out some guys for tonight's game. Monty Hooker, Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, Randy Bullock, and Lonnie Johnson. But the biggest question today is if Jeffrey Simmons or Elijah Molden will play tonight. They're currently listed as questionable on the injury report. Mike Vrabel said that with all these injuries on defense, he is proud of the way the guys have stepped up.
Well, they play hard. They play extremely hard. They, if they give up a play, they've figured out how to go down and get stops and been opportunistic with turnovers. Stopped giving up, a lot of explosive gains. So those are things that'll help you no matter who's out there. And like KB said, and I appreciate everybody recognizing it. These guys get opportunities, and it's cool to see them take advantage of them, and then they'll hopefully earn more opportunities and be ready to go if we need them.
Josh Lambo will be kicking tonight for the Titans in Lambeau Field. Going to be 19 degrees in Green Bay tonight. Kickoff is set for 7:15. This report is presented by Coleman Tractor. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee,
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
This is the final hour of Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. 102.5 The Game, 106.3, and the Game Nashville app. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, over here at Barrel House. Bridgestone Arena, the Predators and the Islanders tonight. New York coming in at 11-6. One of the top 5 teams in the NHL thus far on the season. Nashville, the third game on this homestand, a stretch of 8 out of 9 here in Smashville, trying to make up some ground. They've won the first 2. Back-to-back 2-1 wins. Tough test tonight against the Islanders, and it's a really good goaltender matchup tonight. UC Saros, who's had 2 excellent games against Ilya Sorokin, who has played lights out for the Islanders so far this year. So a pretty good goaltenders duel on paper. So here's what we want to do. We want to get the text line going tonight. It's a big night in Nashville sports. You got the Titans up in Lambeau, Predators and Islanders. So we want to get some text going. Ask D-Mase some stuff. Look, we've been talking about this game all week for the Predators. I'm sorry, for the Titans and the Packers. So the hay's in the barn, man. That's what I'm thinking. We know who's out. We just heard Michelle's update, who they ruled out yesterday. The Titans, as usual, going in with some banged-up players, some guys not available. We'll see how they do against Aaron Rodgers and company. We want to hear what you have to say. 615-737-1025. You can call or you can go old school on the text line. It's all driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We even had some fun about soundtracks last hour with Top Gun and then The Bodyguard, the 30-year anniversary of the Bodyguard soundtrack. And then we got a little music going. So here was a text that is wrapped around from last hour, Mace. D-Mase, because you were touting Whitney Houston's voice, and I can't argue with you. Maybe the greatest of all time. D-Mase, how about the male voice, Luther Vandross?
And listen, there's 2 things that was always played in my house One, obviously, was Whitney Houston when I was growing up, and Luther Vandross. Those were two staples in my parents' household that would get played every weekend. So when you're talking about Luther, man, to me, you're talking about the greatest male singer of all time. There's nobody, and I mean nobody. His voice is so distinct. It's one of those voices that you will never forget, like ever. So I love some Luther. I mean,
now how about this from Mike on our text line? Whitney had a stellar voice. Her material, little hit and miss. No one over 12 listened to the Top Gun soundtrack. Come on, man. Nick played it. He's come on.
But I don't think if you or if he wasn't, doing a show with us and he said we was doing with Jared or somebody, he probably wouldn't have pulled out the Top Gun soundtrack.
Come on, don't rail on my Top Gun
soundtrack. We kind of help Nick out a little bit when it comes to the music. Yeah. He's getting a lot better, though.
He's coming on.
Yeah, he's getting a lot better, man.
All right. How about this? Chris in Nashville texted, hey, D-Mase, given all our injuries, how are we going to handle this Watson kid from Green Bay? Christian Watson is the guy that really did come on the scene. Teron has done a great job this week, sort of given his background, how he sort of was on everybody's radar during the combine, and he's just now sort of coming into his own. He's missed some games, but he had the 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys, a big comeback win. I do think he's going to be very much in the spotlight tonight.
He could be if the Titans allow him to be. Listen, this is not one of those deals where, we need to be overly concerned about Watson. He had 107 yards last week, which brings his total up to 195 yards. So what does that tell you? I mean, he has 3 touchdowns. Before last week, how many touchdowns did he have?
That would be 0.
0. So I'm not saying that, you totally disregard what the kid did last week, but I'm not going to sit here and game plan my secondary for this one guy. What I'm going to do is, listen, just play the type of defense we've been playing in the secondary, and everything will be fine. Don't give up big plays, because that's what it seems like the Green Bay Packers are looking for. That helps jumpstart their passing game when they have these big plays. If the Titans can limit the big plays, they need to be worried more about Lazard and those guys than solely Watson. Now, listen, the kid had a good game last week. Can't take that away from him. You don't want him to duplicate what he did last week. You don't want him to gain confidence in the game, considering what he did last week. So, but I am confident the Titans secondary and their defense will get the job done, and he won't have. Well, let's hope he doesn't have a repeat of last week.
Tom from Clarksville. Titans will win tonight on a field goal by Josh Lambo at Lambeau.
Well, that'd be great. It's about ironic, wouldn't it?
What a script that would be.
Exactly.
Has Josh Lambeau ever kicked at Lambeau? That's a fair question. I don't know the answer to that.
Wins the game at Lambeau after he replaced Bullock.
Bullock is a no-go for those that did not see this. Yes, the game is on CBS tonight. We had to tackle that earlier. I was asking that question, but yes, when the game is involves a local team, in this case the Titans, it is available on regular TV because this is one of those Amazon Prime games. So you'll get the feed on CBS tonight. Hey, D-Mase. Oh, we already got that one. Now let's go to Gover. How about this? Voices that compare to Whitney. This is on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Christina Aguilera, he agrees with you.
I said that.
Ariana Grande.
Nah.
I wouldn't put her in the same class. She's good.
She's good, but nah.
Jessie J.
Nah.
4, end of list. So he's got 3.
No. Whitney.
So you're with them on Christina.
Yeah, Christina Aguilera. Yeah.
The other two, no.
No, I'm not saying the other two are not good singers, because they are. The other two females, they are really good singers, but there's a difference between really good singers and once-in-a-lifetime singers. And Whitney Houston is a once-in-a-lifetime singer.
We're just having fun. We're answering texts
we're just answering
today, and it could be on music. It could be on the Titans game tonight. It could be on the Preds game tonight. it's a big night in Nashville sports. We want to hear from you. 615-737-1025. Chip from Mount Juliet joins in and says Christian Watson, has been healthy one game this year. He's got to prove that he can stay on the field before everyone anoints him as a superstar. I am curious because the Titans, the way they have played defense, this is one of our themes this week. They've been so good at taking away the other team's running game, and then when they do that, they seem to focus on the best target. They did a really good job on Terry McLaurin in the Washington game. They did a good job on Devontae Adams when the Raiders were coming through. They contained Pittman, I think, pretty well. But I wonder who they choose, right? With Watson having the big game, I wonder if that changes their scouting report at all, or it would be more like Lazard, who's not a dominant receiver, but it's still sometimes, I think, when you sort of dictate where the ball is going to go. I remember a long time ago, Mace, there was I thought that the Titans did a pretty good job of that. They almost have like Denard Walker cover one of the threats, and then they would put Samari Roll, the best corner, on the best wide receiver, and even roll the coverage that way. And they knew Denard Walker was going to get picked on, but they also knew he was good enough to stop, say, the second wide receiver. Said, okay, you want to challenge him one-on-one? We're going to win that battle over time. So it's an interesting tactic by a defense.
Well, you see defenses using it. Listen, we are going to force the quarterback to look for other options, especially – like in the case of Adams, you knew that he was getting huge percentages. He was getting a huge percent of the targets. So when you concentrate on that in that player, it sort of throws things off just a little bit because the guy that the quarterback was looking for and he's looking for all the time, and we all are creatures of habits. It just happens. When he dropped back, his first look is to his number one receiver. Well, if you got him tangled up, if you got the coverage on him, now I got to go to my 2 and 3. Well, I'm not comfortable going to my 2 or 3 as much as I would my number 1. And the Titans have been really good this season. You've seen other coaches do it. I mean, Bill Belichick does it all the time, where he takes away your number 1 guy and force you to throw it to somebody else, which you don't have that rapport with, or you don't have that consistency with. Now, here's the problem with it. Here's the good thing about the Titans. They don't have to concentrate on one person. They just can't let Rodgers get into a rhythm. They can't let him get into a rhythm. They can't just say, "Well, I'm taking away this one guy." They gotta play their defense in the secondary so that he doesn't get into a rhythm. And what helps is Jeffrey Simmons being back. Now Jeffrey pushes the pocket in the middle. You got the Nico Autry. You got T.R. Tart. You got the Weaver. Those guys are pushing the pocket. Now it throws Rodgers off, and he can't get comfortable with what he's doing in the passing game. So they don't have a number 1 guy, Green Bay, but they do have a elite quarterback, and you can't allow that elite quarterback to get comfortable with what he's doing.
If he gets comfortable, this could be
a long night.
Tough night. All right. We're taking your text, 615-737-1025. You got the Titans and the Preds in action tonight. Fire away with your text. And if you want to have some fun, we're talking soundtracks. We got another soundtrack that a guy wants to bring to the table from back in the day. And you will be surprised who he's bringing in there. But let me start it off by telling you about QC Kinetics. They do a tremendous job for those of you that have had some joint pain. And maybe the traditional methods, maybe just some simple PT. Maybe you've even had a surgery. Maybe you've had a steroid shot. You just can't shake the joint pain, and it's hampering your ability to do the things you love to do. Well, check out QC Kinetics. They've been fantastic with regenerative medicine, and it's now a place where they have 3 different locations in our listening area, Nashville, Clarksville, and in Murfreesboro now. And this is the kind of stuff, the treatments that have not been available to anybody but the world-class athletes until very recently, but QC Kinetics has brought them to our listening area. The tissue in your joint can be repaired and restored with these regenerative treatments, and they give you the pain-free movement that you're looking for. And then you're back on the court. You're back on the field. And listen, this is no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, no surgery. So if you got the pain from arthritis or any other kind of injury, knees, hips, back, shoulders, call QC Kinetics. Get the free consultation. Appointments are available as soon as next week. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
College football.
Touchdown, Georgia. Nice catch and move by Holden. Touchdown.
Lives here. Don't miss every exciting play each Saturday.
Into the end zone. Touchdown to the freshman, Dane Key.
It's all presented by Twin Peaks, your home of 20-degree drafts and wall-to-wall sports, and by Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
At the United States Postal Service, we're here to deliver fast and reliable service to help you get holiday ready. We offer free package pickup and deliver free shipping supplies to your address. So whether you're in Garland, Texas, Rudolph, Wisconsin, or anywhere in between, we're making it easier for you to spread festive cheer this holiday season. USPS, delivering for America. For all your holiday needs, including info about free shipping supplies, free package pickup availability, and restrictions, go to USPS.com/holidays.
There's never a good time for your furnace to go out, especially in the winter, but it's always a good time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
When Genesis Diamonds has a sale, you know it's the real deal. And it's happening this weekend. Our final store-wide sale of the year with deep discounts up to 35% off. This is the big one. The one where the staff knows they can break all the rules. Plus, Genesis selection is nearly double. With designers here from LA and New York with their entire collections. All on sale. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also marked down. This is the last and best jewelry buying opportunity of the year. Save up to 35% and get zero interest financing. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. Only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down and maybe haven't been getting the exercise you need? If you want to get back to the man you used to be, but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns to problems with muscle gain, bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction, and if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've treated thousands of men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra, results vary.
Join Middle Tennessee football one last time this season inside Floyd Stadium for Senior Day. The Blue Raiders will host the Florida Atlantic University Owls with kickoff set for 2:30 p.m. Come early and wear your blue because it's going to be a day full of family fun. Be sure to check out the Blue Raider Beer Garden and the Blue Raider Family Fun Zone inside the stadium too. Come out and help us honor our 2022 seniors. Secure your seat today at GoBlueRaiders.com/tickets. Middle Tennessee, we are Blue Knighted.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Moving through fast on the final hour. Got a lot of great texts and calls coming your way. We're just throwing it out to you. We got two big games tonight. Predators and the Islanders, and you've got the Titans and the Pack. I know a lot of people are going to be sitting in front of the TVs, flipping around, watching the local teams go at it tonight. Big games. 615-737-1025. Call or text, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We also got going on soundtracks and great voices from the past. And how about this one, D-Mase?
Mm-hmm.
Troy, not Tony, from Murfreesboro saying, what about the Cocktail soundtrack from the 80s? Underrated. Bobby McFerrin, Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Don't worry. That was a huge song.
That was a huge song, and
it was a simple song.
It's also a song that, let's be honest, if it gets in your head,
you can't forget
You
it.
can't get out of your head. It's going to be in your head for a long time. There's also McFerrin Drive in East Nashville, and it's one of those lights where if you miss the light and you get stuck, you're going to be there for a while. And it always, I was like, oh, I got stuck on McFerrin again. I missed the light. Because usually you hit it. It's one of those side streets, so it's annoying. Because you're like, why do they have a light here? But every time I see McFerrin, I automatically and that song gets in my head. Then I got it in my head for the rest of the day. All right. So I hope I don't miss that light anytime soon. All right. Thank you, Troy. Yeah, Cocktail, it's got some good. It's got the Fabulous Thunderbirds in there. And that movie, not a great movie, but it's got Elizabeth Shue in there. That is one of my teenage crushes. D-Mase from back in the day.
That's the only reason you watched it.
Yeah, from the Karate. Remember Karate
Yes.
Kid? Yeah, oh yeah. 615-737-1025. Brian has this one. Do you guys think Forsberg is a top 10 forward in the NHL? He gets a lot of local love, but not too much nationally. But is the type of dominant player that you know is who it is the second he touches the puck. He reminds me very much of Evgeny Malkin in his prime. I think he is a top 10 forward. I would say, and remember, Derek, we talked about this a lot throughout the summer as they were trying to nail down the new contract for Philip Forsberg and what he was worth. I don't think he's top 10. I've always said he's a star. He's not a superstar, but obviously
does he have
such an important.
Does he have superstar potential?
That's the question, is does he have another level to his game? He had a great year last season. They need him to be a star. Don't you think? I mean, you take a look.
They need all those guys.
They've got to have him play well.
They have to. I mean, whether it's him, Duchesne, those guys, and obviously Yossi, but he has been playing well. He's picked up his game. But they need all those guys to play well. You see what happened last year when those guys played well and they still, got ousted in the first round of the playoffs. And you could say a lot of it had to, it was Colorado and you were missing your goalie. But you had those guys had career years and, they still, got in the playoffs, barely made it to the playoffs, however you want it, but they still got ousted in the first round. Well, they're going to have those guys step up once again, but they're going to need their secondary guys as well, their role guys to have a bigger impact on games moving forward. They're just going to have to, because everybody knows who their marquee guys are, and they're going to try to do whatever they need to do to take them out of the game. That's where your secondary guys, your role players, they got to step up.
Matthew in Nashville. How hard will Willy celebrate if Vanderbilt snaps their 8-game losing streak to Florida on Saturday? I think that goes without saying. There will be some celebration in the Donick house.
Willy will be celebrating hard. I will be too, because they're my silly underdog pick.
Oh,
but you will be celebrating hard.
And I am going to be sending texts your way, Derek. If it happens, I'll be preparing for the Predators game that night. Mm-hmm. They got the Tampa Bay Lightning in town, but I will be watching. And I can remember 8 years ago, I was on my first road trip as the Predators announcer. It was a long road trip. We get to New Jersey. We're on a long flight, flying to New Jersey. Vanderbilt's playing Florida at Florida. James Franklin, the coach. It's homecoming for Florida, which it often is when Vanderbilt comes to town.
Yes.
Vanderbilt took him to the woodshed. Problem was, I get off the plane. I'm watching the end of the game. It's exciting, and I'm not feeling well. I got mono.
Oh.
I didn't know it at the time, but I was like, man, I feel terrible. I couldn't celebrate. But it was fun. That's the last time Vanderbilt beat Florida.
Until this weekend.
You would not believe how empty that stadium got on homecoming because they couldn't believe they were losing to Vanderbilt. Everybody just left.
Oh,
by the end of the game, there was nobody there.
I'd have left too.
Yeah.
Like you spoiled my party for later on.
Florida does not like losing to Vanderbilt. I can tell you right now. They are about
Kentucky don't mind.
But being a guy that went to high school in Florida, I love teasing my buddies when Vanderbilt does beat them, the rare time that it has happened. Hopefully, it'll happen again here on Saturday. Okay. If Josh Lambo, this is Jack from Dixon on our text line, if Josh Lambo kicks the game-winning field goal at Lambeau, he has to drive back to Nashville in a Lamborghini. No
if
way.
it's snowing,
dad humor right there.
I don't know if you want to take that long drive in a Lamborghini. That might not be a comfortable drive. You be going fast, but that's not a comfortable
get those
drive.
Snow tires.
Yeah, you better get your snow tires. you better have your pillow on that seat or something, because that's not a comfortable drive.
All right, let's get to Ben on our phone line here. Ben, welcome to the show. You're on 102.5 The Game.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Great.
So my question is concerning the Packers and Titans game. Aaron Rodgers said for the first time that he felt like he was getting the ball where he wanted to. Do you think the Titans have that ability to disrupt that? And then my second question is, since I've never been to an NHL game, what's the best part about going to a Predators game?
Ooh, good questions. Good questions, Ben. Thanks for the call. I think that's what we're all curious to see, because Rodgers, I think we were all sort of dumbfounded when they were losing to the teams they were losing to, and his passing numbers were like, what is going on here? I think you start believing in the Titans defense will give themselves a chance and not let him go wild tonight. I like the fact that Simmons is back in there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Fulton will be back in there tonight. That should help a little bit, contain them. So I've come to not doubt the Titans defensively.
Yeah, I think they've played at a level, at a consistent level defensively, that warrants them to be one of the better defenses in the National Football League. So you can never underestimate, what the Titans are able to do. We saw what they were able to do against the Chiefs. Granted, Mahomes threw for 4 billion yards, but they only ended up with 20 points. So you can do all of that you want to, but if it doesn't amount to many points, then that's what we're looking for. Because at the end of the day, do I have more points than you or not? That's all that matters. And this defense has been lights out. And without this defense playing the way they have been playing, I know for sure the Titans are not in a position that they're in right now, sitting at 7-3, 7-3 or 6-3. 6-3. But yeah, I think this defense can do enough to take away some of the things that Green Bay wants to do. And like the caller said, last week you heard it out of Rodgers' mouth. That was the first week that he felt comfortable throwing a football, and he placed the football just about everywhere he wanted to.
If they can contain the running game and not give up any big plays, cheap plays in the passing game, I like their chances of not giving up a lot of points, forcing them to pass 10 yards at a time. That's their formula for success. I like that. As far as this question about Smashville, we got to get him to a game, first of all. Would you agree? Way better in person.
Oh, yeah.
When you see it live. So worth coming down, you'll see it. It's just different.
It's the atmosphere.
Person. The atmosphere is great. The roar when there's a big hit or the roar of a big goal, it is just outstanding. And then on top of it, the chanting that 303 does and things like that. I think we got to get this guy to a game.
Got to get him to a game.
Come on,
man.
Got to get him to a game. All right, when we come back, we'll have another round of texts and calls. 615-737-1025, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Just getting ready for the big two-barrel action tonight. Predators and Titans going on at the same time. Stay tuned. We're coming back.
Saturday night.
Johansson across in front, and a backhander and the score.
Your Nashville Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning at Bridgestone Arena.
Penalty kill came up big again, but it was nice to see the power play get some life.
Pre-game at 6. Puck drop at 7 on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you got to do is sign up with promo code ROB, and maybe your first bet is Titans and Packers on Thursday Night Football. The Titans a 2.5-point underdog. Give me the Titans plus the 2.5, but you take it any way you want to take it. Just make sure you do it on FanDuel, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. They got great live betting options every single day, and you can get your winnings quickly as well when you win. So sign up today with promo code ROB for your no-sweat first bet. Once again, that promo code is ROB. You can make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Family Leisure's Ultimate Game Room Sale is back. Huge discounts up to 50% off on all kinds of game room furniture and accessories. Play pool tables from Brunswick and Legacy Pool Tables. Prices starting as low as $14.99 installed. Perfect for Christmas. Family Leisure has huge savings on massage chairs. Full body massage chairs starting at only $9.99. 4D massage chair more than half off at $29.99. Family Leisure guarantees to beat anyone's advertised home theater seating prices. Shuffleboards, foosball, and air hockey tables on sale as well. That's Family Leisure at both locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together. Bar Lines in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Hey Nashville, Chef Phillip at Bar Lines at the Omni Hotel. Come try some of our new menu items like the Nashville Hot Fish and Chips, Nathan's Hot Dog Burn Ends, or the Nashville Chicken Jam Band. Go Preds.
Attending an event downtown? Dine at Bar Lines in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industry. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at harmanenergy.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Counting down. 2 o'clock. We'll turn it over to Jared and company. Big games tonight. Predators, Islanders from where we are at Bridgestone Arena, Barrel House, Max Hers. Pre-game starting at 6. Pete Weber, Jay Moore on the call tonight at 7. And then, of course, tonight the Predators, the Packers and the Titans from Lambeau Field. So we're just kicking back. We're taking your questions on the text line, 615-737-1025. Don't do this very often. We're getting some really fun texts today. Here's one, sort of random. Derek, this is from Andrew. What's the hardest hit you ever took in the NFL?
The hardest hit I ever took in the NFL. Wow. Man. I think it was, well, I know. I'm not going to say I think. I know it was on a punt return. And I got knocked clean out. It was at the old Baltimore Ravens, the old stadium.
Memorial Stadium.
Memorial Stadium, yes. It was was it the rookie year or the second year? It was the second year because I think rookie year we played them in Memphis, if I can recall. But I think it was my second year. And
now, back then, were they in the division? I'm trying to remember before they realigned.
They were in the division. With Pittsburgh, it was us, Pittsburgh, Indy. It was like 7 teams.
Yeah. Okay.
7, 8 teams in the division. And the guy's name was Benny Thompson. I'll never forget that name. Boy, Benny Thompson ran through me like I was a wet piece of paper.
So he knocked you out.
Yes. Just, wow.
Is that the only time you ever got knocked out?
Clean like that? Yeah. Like, he knocked me complete out. Like, I was like, what happened?
Did you lose the ball?
Yeah, I lost the ball.
Oh, no.
Well, the ball lost me.
Okay, so what is that like? So the first thing you remembered afterwards was they were asking you did not remember what happened?
I remember them coming out. I remember when they were on, like, above me. Like, the training staff was over above me, trying to make sure I was okay. But before that, I didn't remember anything. I didn't remember catching it. Didn't remember parts of the game. I got back on the sideline. I'm asking Joey, like, what happened? Like, he was like, dog, you got knocked out. I'm like, wow. They're like this. Okay, what month is it? You know, when's your birthday? Yada, yada, yada. I went back in the game later on that day. I'm thinking about it now. It's funny now. It was just a different time back then. It was a different time, man.
Now, Taylor comes up with this. What's this talk about downing up for a head coaching job? Maybe you already discussed this, but if you can explain, that would be awesome. I don't know anything about that. I'm going to go back to the Floyd Reese thing that he would get. He used to come on our show when he was the GM every Friday, and at some point, every now and then, he'd get a call about, hey, what about this job, Floyd? He would always have the same answer. He goes, I'm trying to keep my seat warm here. Like, he would always say the same thing. I feel like that's Todd Downing right now. He's got to keep his seat warm where he is. I don't know anything about a head coaching job.
Yeah, me either. I saw something to that effect, but I looked at it quickly. I'm like, nah, this is not real. This is not a reputable
if somebody could fill in the
gaps.
I
kind of went by it, but I saw it and kind of went by it. And I'm like, who in the hell in their right mind would give him a head coaching job after after they've seen what he's hasn't done the last year and a half, 2 years here with the Titans? I don't know how you give him a head coaching job. So I went by it. Now, I would have said Shane Bowen on there, I would have stopped and read it. Yeah, but, you know, Downey, no, I'm not stopping to read that.
615-737-1025, our call and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Kyle in New York. You can't ignore Christian Watson, but I don't think the Titans should game plan around him. I doubt Green Bay is planning around NWI after the game last week.
Exactly. It's the same thing.
Fair point. Fair point.
Fair point. I mean, hey, he got a point there.
While we're on Random Question Day, Will says, hey, Willie, I was at Vanderbilt 2 years ahead of you. I saw your college stats. I don't know. 2.5 points per game, 5 minutes, or whatever it was. Not making fun, I promise. Very few who listen to the program played D1 sports, much less 2 D1 sports. Here's my question. What were your high school senior year stats? Hey, okay, now we're talking. By the way, he gives me way too much credit. 2.5 points a game. It was actually 1.7.
Was it?
Yeah, 1.7. I hit double digits 3 times, though, D-Mase.
Hey, as long as you got double digits in the collegiate game,
yeah. I did get that one start at Memorial Gym, though, where you got your name announced. What was I? I guess I was junior. A junior from Maitland, Florida, number 21. I was like, oh, I got it now.
You felt good,
didn't you? About 4 guys had to get hurt for me to start, but I did get to start the one game. But in high school, I could play a little bit. I averaged over 20 a game in high school. When I left my high school at Winter Park in Florida, I was the all-time leading scorer.
Oh, snaps, Willie.
Now, Austin Rivers has broken my record since then. But, you know.
So you're number 2.
No shame in that.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the NBA.
I might be down to number 4 or 5 now. See, they come in. I couldn't play until I was in 10th grade.
Oh, okay.
They have. Austin Rivers played 4 years, so he blew away
your
my stats. Yeah, so I'm sliding down for sure. But thanks for the shout-out, Will. I appreciate it.
Hey,
okay.
We all need love.
Yeah, a little pump up there. Now I feel pretty good. All right, next up, Viking Matt. Tighten up. Sincerely, Viking Matt. Can we trust Viking Matt really wants that?
Nah, not really. The name says it all.
See, I
Viking
think he's
Matt.
thinking the Vikings get to the Super Bowl, they could beat the Titans. I think that's what Viking
Well,
Matt
he's saying that because they're in the same division, Vikings and Green Bay, if Green Bay loses, that put them further behind. But Green Bay, no matter what, if they win, they're not catching the Minnesota Vikings. That team's pretty good. And Kirk Cousins is. Everybody's waiting for Kirk Cousins to have that sort of Kirk Cousins day, and he hasn't had it.
Joe asks, when both teams are playing, does Bridgestone ever play the Titans game during the intermissions on the Jumbotron? I don't think they'll do it tonight. They did put the playoff game last year, which was going on leading up to it. They put it on the Jumbotron and opened the doors early so fans could see it. The game will be, I'm sure, on a lot of the TVs out on the concourse. I don't think they'll put it on the Jumbotron during intermission. That's just my guess. Maybe a clip or so. They might show a highlight or two. I've seen them do that before, but good question, Joe. Next up, Willie, tell D-Mase Wendy Moten. She's been compared to Whitney Houston all of her singing career. If you don't know, just look her up and trust me. Y'all not ready, he said, or y'all ain't ready. Tell D-Mase it's Bud Clyde the Glide, not Drexler, his Spartan teammate. 2-Dub, Rob's uncle.
Yes. Yes, I know exactly who that is. I need to look that up then.
Wendy Moten.
Yeah, I need to look that up because he's right. I don't know.
Okay, but do you now?
2-Dub, the late 2-Dub, friend of mine passed away. Teammate of mine passed away last year. So he was older than I was. 2-Dub was 2 years above me, I believe. Yeah, at Michigan State.
All right, good stuff. All right, let's take our final break. When we come back, we'll throw a trivia question into the mix that you'll call to win. You got to call on that. We've got a lot of people texting in questions about tonight's games, Predators and or Titans and or music. 615-737-1025. Jump on in there for one more round before we wrap things up from here at Barrel House. Predators and Islanders tonight. And then Saturday, it'll be a big game with the Tampa Bay Lightning coming into town. So a lot of home games coming up around the Thanksgiving holidays. Stay tuned. Coming back with more. 615-737-1025. This is 1025 The Game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. No Code Red weather ahead of us here. A very easy weather pattern, but a very cool one as well. High temperatures this afternoon taking us into the upper 30s and low 40s, and we'll stay in that territory until we get into the upcoming weekend.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it. Craneworks Rental Works, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Craneworks, the Southeast leader for crane and equipment rental, is looking for the best in the business to fill positions as qualified operators, truck drivers, and mechanics. Craneworks provides superior customer service and a superior work environment. Start lifting Nashville to new heights and apply today at craneworks.com/careers. That's craneworks.com/careers.
Joe Rexford here for FanDuel Sportsbook. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That means free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code Joe102. FanDuel's got your favorites, money line, point spread, player props, but you can combine them for a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, get those odds updated during the games. Of course, you get paid fast. It's safe, secure. Very important for me. It's easy to use. If you want to look at Thursday's game, Packers with a huge comeback to beat the Cowboys. Titans somehow finding a way to stack wins. It's Titans at Packers. You know, I would be thinking anytime touchdown for Derrick Henry. I know he didn't have a big day against the Broncos. I think he'll bounce back. I think I'd go Titans, too. That'd be 2 of my 3 on a parlay for that. Sign up today with promo code Joe102 for your no sweat first bet. Again, promo code Joe102. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, present in Tennessee. First time learning many rates are only. Refund issue is now available. Free bets expire 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Can't remember problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Should you rent? Should you buy? This is Chad Withrow, and these are reasonable questions, but there are major advantages of owning a home as opposed to renting, like mortgage interest tax deductions, other tax benefits, plus the equity in the home becomes an asset. You really are throwing away your money when you rent. Let your money work for you. Give my friends a call at Regal Realty Group. Let them find you the right home. They do everything for you from contract to closing and everything in between. Give them a call at 833-OUTKICK. That's 833-OUTKICK.
Jared Stillman.
This is a team that the entire city is losing their minds over.
Caroline Fenton.
It's one of the youngest teams in the league. They don't have a single player over the age of 30.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
All right, you hear that song, you know it's the final segment of the show. Stillman and Company coming up at 2 o'clock. We'll have our special show. D-Mase, you'll be heading down for a little NFL coverage leading up to the Lambeau game.
Yes, I will.
That starts at 4 today?
At 4 o'clock. We usually do it 2.5 hours before the Titans kick off. So we will be down at Twin Peaks in Cool Springs, Caroline and I. Chris may join us, I believe, because they're practicing. They have a game this week, I believe, against McCauley, if I'm not.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one at NBA. So Coach Chris will be there. But we'll hold down a fort, Caroline and I, at Twin Peaks and Cool Springs today.
Great
at 4
stuff.
o'clock.
So 4 to 6, the NFL coverage, and then at 6 o'clock, back here right where we're sitting at Barrel House, Max Hers will take over for Predators Islanders coverage. So we're doing it all. We were taking a lot of your phone calls and texts. Time to throw a little trivia question in there. And as we mentioned, we're giving away tickets to a game coming up on November the 25th. It's part of a doubleheader. Mm-hmm. Predators game, and then a college hockey game. It is Northeastern against Western Michigan. So a little Predators question here with the college flavor. John Hines and Dante Fabro both played college hockey at this program. And it's the arch rival of Northeastern. I'll throw that in there. 615-737-1025. You must call. You cannot text the answer in. And watch. 5 seconds, somebody's going to text the answer in. But you can't win if you text. You can flex, but you can't win the tickets. If you want to win the tickets, call 615-737-1025. Where did Coach John Hines and defenseman Dante Fabro play their college hockey? It was at the arch rival of Northeastern.
I know.
In fact, John Hines' sister went to Northeastern. So there's a little rivalry within the household, in the Hines household.
Exactly.
All right, let's get back to the text. We've got some good ones down the stretch here. Let's see. The Todd Downing head coaching thing came from Tom Pelissero. Young coaches to watch for the next coaching cycle. So it was more of a general thing and not specific.
Listen, have you watched this offense over the last 2 years? Have you watched it beside Derrick Henry? If I'm watching this offense over the last 2 years and I'm taking away the run game, there's no way in hell I'm hiring Todd Downing to be my head coach. I'm not doing it. Just not doing it. Nope, can't do it, won't do it.
Okay, so you need to see more.
Yeah, I need to see more.
On a list like that.
Before he gets on the list, yeah.
All right, Cole throws this out there. D-Mase and Willy, what's the best environment you've ever played or watched a game in, regardless of the sport? Now, the Stanley Cup final here, I'm going to say I'm biased. So that's got to be in there in terms of watching. I'll answer it where I played. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know mine off the top of my head, and I'm also going to put aside Memorial Gym when it's rocking, because once upon a time that place was as good as any. Got to get that back, that Memorial magic. Get people there. Hopefully Coach Stackhouse will get it going. So how would you answer that? let's say, ever played. Best environment you ever played.
Best environment I've ever played in.
Regardless of sport.
Regardless of sport. Gosh, it would have to be the Super Bowl, but I was so young, man. I didn't take it all in. But, it would have to, that atmosphere in a Super Bowl, because, watching it for so long, and then you get an opportunity to play and you see how much energy, or you feel how much energy is in that building. So for me playing, it had to be the Super Bowl. But for me watching, I went to the Rose Bowl when Michigan State played Stanford. The year before, I think they went to the championship game. It was the year before when they went to the college football playoffs. So the year before, year after. It might have been the year before. And the Rose Bowl was rocking. And it came down to like this epic play. It was 4th and inches, and Stanford had the ball. Stanford gets the first down. They could, continue to move the ball down the field and try to kick a field goal to win. 4th and inches, Michigan State gets the stop. That whole place just erupted. It was like, wow, I just felt the goosebumps going through my body at that time. So that's probably the biggest atmosphere.
I've never been to the Rose Bowl, but that, to me, on TV, just the way that bowl, it truly is a bowl. When it's full for a Rose Bowl, that is one of the coolest looking places to watch it on TV. I remember as a kid going, wow, wouldn't that be a great place to go see a game?
Watching
they had the Super
watching
Bowl
the
there
Rose Bowl was like, as a high school student, it's like, man, I want to go to USC. I want to play in the Rose Bowl,
Yeah.
So
the best one for me, I'm going to say, and they don't play there anymore, but the arena that Arkansas had before they built Bud Walton Arena, which is a huge palace, they played in a place called Barnhill Arena. Unlike anything I've ever seen before. Bleachers straight up on both sides. Not a big end zone on either side, but that was the loudest place I've ever seen. They were so good. And this was when they had Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller.
Yes.
40 Minutes of Hell, Nolan Richardson,
that team
full
was
throttle.
Good. That
full throttle.
team was good.
They just came into the SEC. We got to play them early in the season. Whoo! It didn't go well. We had a good team. They smashed us. But, we ended up getting to the NCAA tournament, but they were coming off a Final Four. That was unbelievable, that environment. They got there hours before the game. They took the Vanderbilt media guides. They went through and looked at all of our bios, and they heckled us. They heckled us. And then that was just to go shoot around. That's way before. Then when you go back in the locker room, then you come out and the band's playing. They are cranking up the band. The band is on the court. We can't even do a layup line without getting in the tuba section. Like, I thought, if we wanted to, we could have thrown some passes and, hit tuba players and knock instruments. They didn't care. They were on the court. Like, are you guys going to let us warm up? They did not move an inch.
Hey, man, that's the type of environment y'all were in.
I know.
Hostile.
They had it, but the band was awesome. It controlled the crowd, and they had this meter that would show how loud the decibels, and the lights would go up every time it would go up, and so you knew that thing was going to get all the way to the top.
They were cranking for the red or the green. They were
was
cranking for it.
They did an amazing job back then, and it's one of those things where you lose something when you move into a new building. The new building is great; it's state of the art and all that stuff, but you kind of lose that flavor.
Yeah.
It's like Cameron Indoor, Duke. It's got it's a special place.
Exactly.
Right. That's why they'll never leave Cameron Indoor.
Can't do it.
You can't do it. And I wonder if Arkansas fans that go back a ways miss those days. I'll bet they do.
I'm sure they do.
All right, let's see what else we got before we get out of here. Let's see. Oh, well, Joe says, what about he's I've never heard anybody say it this way. They usually say Music City Miracle. Adelphia Coliseum when we beat the Bills on the kickoff. I think he means Music City Miracle.
Yes, he means Music City Miracle.
All right. Well, D-Mase, I know, save your strength because you still got a couple more hours to break down Titans and the Packers, but this has been fun this last hour, and so we are getting ready to pass the baton here.
Yes, we are. We're going to pass it over to Jared and company.
Yep.
Hopefully the Titans can pull out a win as well as the Nashville Predators.
That would be a nice thing, a little sweep tonight. So we've got Jared coming on at 2, 4 o'clock, Caroline and D-Mase from Twin Peaks. Then at 6 o'clock back here at Barrel House, Max Hurst takes over Predators and Islanders at 7. It's all coming your way here on 102.5 The Game. We'll break it all down for you tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock.
We out.
You love the game.
The door's on the board. Strike three, sounds win.
We live the game.
Going up against that defense, he can make some plays and take that next step.
We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome game 7.
What a stop made by Houston Sarah.
The game. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the